every minute with the fever dream.
I'm sure to be alright. The reason why the last freeze we had in 2020 was so bad is because it lasted multiple days and we got hit multiple times. It's one night, and it's only 20 degrees, so it shouldn't be. I know that they're trying to say that it'll be as bad as 2020. I just don't believe that. I genuinely don't. I think they're just the news doing what the news does best and overdoing it, personally.
My brave warriors, your time has come. Show them the overwhelming might of our forces.
That's cool. Oh, you can play as other characters, so that was Shahudun. I might end up playing this. That's Dao Chan.
Swarm as you will. Wretches remain wretches. I'll show you the gulf in power that cannot be bridged.
That is
Fail here. I will
Zhang
lose my
Bao?
chance to ask for everyone's forgiveness.
It's so long.
Please.
Cut down all in your
Lubu!
path. Prove our supremacy. Show them what it means to challenge Louis Bu.
Gladly. And I wish for you to do the same. Fight us with everything you have.
Our true purpose in this world is to bring about peace and to guard it thereafter. Let's go. It's time to go see the one we've chosen.
I'm definitely playing that now. Any game you could play as Lubu, I'm down. Yo, I will literally play through every single character in the game just to play as Lubu. I don't fucking care, bro. PlayStation. Fuck is this? Oh, I don't care about that. Fatal Fury, I think that's a fighting game. You saw they're gonna release a new Fable soon. I don't care about this. Don't care about Forza. Yeah, here we go. They're gonna release a new Fable game. Apparently, every single NPC in the city has their own routine. Like old school Skyrim. And Fallout. Fallout does the same thing.
How can I help you, boss?
You can own property, you can own businesses, you can be rich and everyone like comments on your wealth and stuff. You could kill a giant and it like the body sits outside the city for the rest of the game. And it like, yeah, look, this guy's angry at him. Simon's mad. And you know what you gotta do with Simon? You gotta fucking kill him in town square. Bro just walked up and punted a chicken. He just annihilated that chicken. Boom! We might end up playing this. You can play as a guy. Don't worry about the girl thing. You can play as a guy. It has been confirmed. There we go.
Fable is Playground's first open-world action RPG, and we couldn't be more proud to be carrying on the work of the legendary Lionhead Studios, the original creators of the franchise. And although our game is a new beginning, I think what we're making is really faithful to the spirit of the classic Lionhead trilogy that we all love.
I'm not sure if it was a saga. Oh, what the fuck?
At the heart of our game is
That's
a
crazy
simple,
looking.
recurring
Let me see.
What does it mean to you to be a hero? Our
It's
game is
Fable
about
Saga.
choices, and their consequences. It's packed with action, drama,
Yeah,
British
it was the
humor,
saga.
dilemmas, and quite a few chickens.
I
All
hope this
of
works. I hope it
combines
works
in a
for him.
fairy tale, which could only be fable.
In classic Fable fashion, you begin the game as a child, growing up in the sleepy rural village of Briar Hill.
That's crazy. So you actually witness the full growth of your character.
Of extreme danger, your heroic powers first emerge, and we discover that you are Albion's first hero in a generation. But not long afterwards, disaster strikes, and the people of your village, including your beloved grandma, are turned to stone by a mysterious stranger. Suddenly alone in the world, you'll set off on an adventure which will change Albion forever.
Venturing out into the world is a huge moment because this is Albion like you've never seen it before. Idyllic rolling hills, magical forests,
Pretty.
bustling villages, sleepy hamlets, oversized vegetable patches, and stunning vistas. And because our Albion is truly open world, for the first time, you'll be able to explore this rich and detailed world seamlessly, with the freedom to go where you want from early in the game.
Really?
Can't wait to welcome you back to Albion's iconic capital city,
I'm getting some Witcher vibes from it.
Bowerstone. Home to Fairfax Castle, the old clock tower,
Which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing, by the way.
and the legendary Heroes Guild.
It's a huge city, full of contrasts. Rich and poor, nobles and commoners, royalty and criminals.
That's crazy
You'll spend plenty
looking.
of time here during the game as you discover the secrets
I
of it.
always thought the cities that had these bridges that were like the cities that were just straight up built on the bridges, I always thought that stuff looked crazy cool. I don't know what it is about this, but like just having a city over a canyon like that and it like the city actually just being the bridge itself, that is just so cool.
Heroes Guild, and it's
I'd hate to be there if that rock starts to settle and everything starts to crack, but
Master, Humphrey the Golden.
In the north of Albion, you'll find mountains, craggy coastlines, spooky marshes, and the bleak, windswept city of Bloodstone.
ooh.
Here, you'll meet the leaders of two rival gangs, vying for power, and uncover the secrets of the sinister but extremely well-organized Cult of Shadows. Our Albion is beautiful, handcrafted, and richly detailed.
It looks pretty.
In Albion, heroes are special, different. They're stronger than regular people. They're more skillful, more charismatic. More importantly, they're those rare humans who can harness and use magic in the world around them. They have the power to do what they want.
And so do you. In our game, we want you to play as the hero you want to be. And that starts with being able to choose how your hero character looks.
People are saying that this already is giving off. Like some of the attack mechanics I also noticed look a lot like Veilguard's attack mechanics.
In Fable, you'll be able to pick from a range of different character heads and customize your clothing, hair, skin tone, tattoos, and scars. So the hero
I'm not saying it is, and no one else is saying it is, but there are like very few red flags.
represents you.
But as well as your appearance, you can be the hero you want to be through the way you play, through the skills and abilities you learn, and through the weapons you use.
Just like the classic trilogy, heroes in our game fight with a combination of strength, skill,
That's cool.
and will. Seamlessly blending melee and ranged weapons with magical abilities gives us style-weaving combat.
Yo, just kicking the chickens, dude.
Allowing you to show off your personal playstyle against single opponents and large groups of enemies alike. Melee is at the heart of our close quarters combat. You'll use light and heavy combos.
Big ass dude,
often
Jesus.
knocking enemies off balance. And
Tall, lanky motherfucker, dude. Gotta aim for them Achilles tendons.
swap to your ranged weapon to bypass enemy guard. And deal with troublesome flying enemies.
That's cool.
And of course, you'll be able to unleash your powerful spells to both manipulate and devastate your opponents.
We're excited to be bringing
It's kind of sad to think that Skyrim and Fallout have had NPCs in it that keep routines, like, for years now, like, literally over 10 years. And for whatever reason, every new game that's RPG that comes out or open world, none of them have that anymore. Why not? How did we go backwards? How do we not have characters that have more detail? How do we not have NPCs that do more stuff during their days? It just, I don't know.
Fan favorite adversaries for you to fight.
They're the little guys. Ooh.
Hobbs are back. As are Balverines, Hollowfolk, and Trolls.
Bitch ass thought.
And we're adding brand new enemies too.
It's a chicken, bro. It's a raptor. It's a Utah raptor.
Giant fire-breathing chickens. Each enemy family is different, with their own weaknesses to exploit and defenses to overcome. But with all the unique tools in your combat toolbox, how you defeat your enemies is up to you.
Stupid chicken.
But there's more to being a hero in Albion than fighting. So much more. When we talk to people about their favorite memories of the original games, so many of their stories were about the stuff you can do when you weren't just being a hero. The normal, everyday stuff which happened when you interacted with the people of Albion.
For me, what I remember most vividly are the inhabitants of Albion, and the things you
Right?
can do with them, or to them.
The crazy thing about the classic Fable games was that in the middle of a sprawling RPG was almost a complete other game, where you could just mess around with the villagers and townsfolk.
And we've built that same experience in the middle of our game too. Buying a house, getting a job, making some money.
Romancing a villager, getting married, having kids.
Fancy a date?
Perfect.
Apparently you could have like multiple kids and divorce them.
Get to know me better.
Buying another house. Buying every house in Albion.
That's crazy.
Buying every business in Albion. Getting rich.
Marrying a bunch more people, having a bunch more kids.
So wait a minute, run that by me again. So you can marry multiple partners?
Marrying a bunch more people, having a bunch more kids.
Huh.
Probably getting divorced
I didn't catch that.
along the way for good measure.
And this game within a game is unique to Fable. It's systemic, interconnected, and you see the ripple effects of the things you do everywhere you go.
And all of this revolves around...
So did you catch that?
It's unique to Fable. It's systemic, interconnected, and you see the ripple effects of the things you do everywhere you go.
Huh.
And all of this revolves around the people who live in Albion, who we call the living population. There are more than 1,000 of them, and every single one is unique. Each of them has a name, a role, a daily routine, and their own personality. You could follow any one of them for a day and just watch them live their life.
They'll get up, go to work, spend some leisure time on hobbies, then go home to bed.
But what's even cooler is that you can talk...
It's sad that that is a feature now, and back then it was just a given. I'm not hating on the Fable people at all. I'm just really sad and depressed with how piss poor the state of gaming is, where you have to state that and it's not just a given. Like, the fact that they even have to say that, it just upsets me deeply. It's just, I don't know, it unsettles me a lot to think that we've fallen that far from gaming. That it's that way, you know?
every single one of them
Zyph?
in fully voiced conversations and interact with them in loads of different ways. Maybe the job they
I'll
go
call
to
you
work
ZB. I don't know how the hell else
because
to
you
say your
hired them
name,
to
bro.
work in one of
Welcome to
your
the chat.
businesses.
Hey, you. Working hard? How can I help you, boss?
Maybe the bed they sleep in is in a house you own because you're the landlord.
I think it matters a lot. Because, like, it helps with the immersion of the game, in my opinion. So for example, if I get a quest where I have to find a specific person, and I remembered seeing that person, and I remember where I saw that person, I know for a fact that that person is probably going to walk by that spot again, doing their daily routines or going to work, you know?
Or maybe their bed is on the street because you evicted them.
All right.
Oh, it's you. You're awful.
And all of the stuff you do affects what they think of you.
You're a legend.
Because
That's what's so interesting about this is that like every individual townsperson can like or hate you. You know? That's what's even crazier is like even on top of them having their own lives, they each have their own opinion of you. It's so cool.
Your reputation.
Very impressive. Now that's an hero right there.
Morality has always been super important to Fable. That tension between good and evil underpinned all of the original games.
It is.
And morality is central to our game too, but we have a slightly different take on it.
For us, morality isn't black and white. There are lots of grey areas.
Oh, so if you kick a chicken in town, then your opinion could change.
Morality is subjective. No two people see things exactly the same way.
So you could just straight up walk up to like a store and just buy it. And it has like the income and everything. That's crazy.
And that's how it works in our game too.
That's so sick.
Everything you do earns you a reputation. And every person in Albion will have a different reaction to you as a result.
Hello there.
Yeah, we get it. You're rich.
They'll remember things you did direct.
So like, I think that's a cool concept, but I like what Oblivion did where you could invest in merchants around you. I want the ability to invest in merchants if you go to a town and buy something. I want the ability to invest in their businesses and not necessarily take them. You know, like you buy a couple businesses and to make people happy, you share the wealth kind of thing. I want that option in the game. I want to see that option in the game. So that way it's not just negative for you to get like for you to buy stuff. I also want to see like if you buy a bunch of houses, I want to be able to rent them. I want to be able to rent them at the price that I want to rent them at.
To them, they'll love you or hate you for the choices you make, and they will always tell you why. Although, usually from a safe distance.
Our game will never judge you.
Or like if you meet companions along the way, you can tell them to go and stay at a specific house, which I'm sure they do have.
Loudly.
Imbecile.
Your reputation is created by the choices you make, and you are going to make a lot of them. Big choices.
I don't think it's a sim. No, I think that it's an option that you can do in the game, and I like that. I like that it's not the primary goal of the game.
Little choices, moral choices, and some choices that will actually change the landscape of Albion for the rest of your game.
It's how it should be. It's how gaming should have evolved originally. That's how it should have been since like 2016. Gaming should have only gotten better. And somehow it's like the guy in the other chat said, the one comment, it devolved. It went backwards. Games are like releasing half-ass made now. It's disgusting.
We call this idea, your choices change the world. Let's give you an example.
Early in the game, you'll meet a character named Dave, an egotistical gardener in a rural village who discovers a magical growth formula. He accidentally turns himself into a giant and becomes a big problem. It'll be your job to deal with him, and ultimately it will be your choice whether to kill him or to spare him. If you kill him, his giant corpse will lie on the farmland just outside of town for the rest of the game.
And that is going to affect house prices. It will also affect what a lot of the villagers think about you.
Especially Dave's sister. In Fable, the choices you make will define you. What does being a hero mean to you?
That's so cool. That's so cool. I'm so happy to see gaming going back the way it should be. Like, why are we going backwards? We should be going forwards. We have so much technology for it now, and it's like, it's all going to waste on these, like, stupid games now. It's not even being used. It's sad. Damn, IGN has been cooked ever since the beginning of the year, bro. So we had J.D. Vance give an amazing speech yesterday. It absolutely amazed me how well Couchfucker did. I am so proud of J.D. Vance and how well he gave that speech down in Minneapolis.
Think that this guy could be the guy.
There is a big chance that J.D. Vance may be our next president.
I'm not there yet, but after today's speech and him taking all those questions, I'm feeling good.
He walked out on stage in Minneapolis, no teleprompter, no holds barred, saying it the way it should be. And let me tell you something. It is so refreshing to see somebody stay up to date with all the crap that's going around with these schizos down in Minneapolis. He knew about every incident that every one of these people asked him about, even before they finished their sentences.
Things at the outset, just about what I've learned today and what I'm trying to do here. You know, first of all, I want to give a shout out.
Got to catch them all.
To the Annunciation school shooting families, because the last time I was in Minneapolis,
new school shooting.
To meet with some of those families. I understand.
Haven't seen this.
That a couple of the students have made near miraculous recoveries, and just that was a very special moment for me to be invited into that community at a time of grief, and I hope that all of them know. Though I didn't get to see them this particular time, I've been thinking about them and their families quite a bit. Now, to talk about what I am here to do, which is federal law enforcement, to enforce our immigration laws, I want to say just a few things. First of all, I wanted to meet with business leaders, with ICE officers, with local law enforcement to try to understand a little bit better what's going on.
Really?
So that we can tone down the temperature a little bit, reduce the chaos, but still allow us, as a federal government, to enforce the American people's immigration laws. That is the purpose of my visit. Now, this is step one or step two of that process. There's going to be a lot of work that follows.
Oh my God, they have the original Minnesota flag back there. They took down Tim Walz's flag. It's the original Minnesota flag back there. You see that? That's crazy.
From here.
Oh, I just noticed that. Do you see the star? The star is like a cropped out cut of the original American flag. You see it? So like, you see how it's white? Like they like stamped it and pulled it and put it on there, or like they cut it out. That's cool. Yo, W original Minnesota flag.
Talk about that, but I think I learned a few things that were very important. So number one of the things I learned is that the guys behind me are doing an incredible job, and frankly, a lot of the media is lying about the job that they do every single day.
They sure do.
Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't occasionally stories out there, there aren't occasionally videos out there that suggest that these guys, or at least some of the people who work for them, are not doing everything right. But very often, if you look at the context of what's going on, you understand that these people are under an incredible amount of duress, an incredible amount of chaos, and because of a few very far left agitators, a lot of these guys are unable to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable.
It's ridiculous.
And that's one of the things that I want to send a message to is, yes, come out and protest me, protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully. If you assault a law enforcement officer...
What have I been saying this whole damn time, bro? What have I been saying this whole time? I have made video after stream after stream for the past months now. It's been months. That's the sad part. It's not even been a month. It's been months. If you want to protest, do it without hitting officers, man. Do it without impeding traffic. Stand on the side of the road. Protest. Do it all day. Freeze your balls off. I don't care. Stand out there all day and all night. Please, I want you to exercise your amendments, but you have to do it peacefully. You can't burn cars. You can't throw peaceful bricks at police officers. You can't freeze water bottles and throw it at police officers or federal agents. You can't do any of that. It's against the law, and you're going to get the amendments taken away from us if you keep doing that. Like, there has to be protections for police officers, and they're going to enforce it whether we like it or not. You can't do these things to police officers.
The Trump administration and the Department of Justice is going to prosecute you to the fullest.
Not to mention you alienate people if you start turning violent, because people want to protest, but they want to do so peacefully. They're going to leave the mob if you start doing violent things.
The law. Excuse me. And I wanted to show some support for these
Put 'em in the
guys who,
box.
frankly, are operating in a very, very tough environment. I heard a lot of stories today about that I think drives home just how chaotic the environment on the ground here has already gotten. For example,
People going ape
did
shit.
you know that
People going
within
ape
the
shit.
last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently
There's
than that,
already talk that this weekend in Minneapolis it's going to be another Schizo Fest.
you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty, who had been doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a
What
bunch
the
of
fuck?
agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives, and then, of course,
Bro,
it
nobody
was
got-
federal law enforcement officers who had to come up,
You gotta round them
lower
up.
the temperature on the situation, and actually
Why?
get those two off-duty
Nobody has the
officers to a
patience
point
for
of
that
safety.
mentality, dude.
Now imagine, if you would, your life and your perspective on law enforcement if you
Not
can't
even
even go
gonna
to a
engage with
restaurant
that.
without some agitators locking the door and making you feel like your life is in danger. That is the environment that has been created, I think, by a lot of very, frankly, far left people.
Well, you
but
gotta
also
arrest
by
them,
some of
bro.
the state and local law enforcement officials
gotta go after
who could
them.
do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the
go
way,
get 'em.
I'm not talking about the cops. Who these guys told me on the ground, the cops are very sympathetic to what they're dealing with. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the state and local
Boys, the Schizos are out today. Trying to invade my chat.
elected law
Go get
enforcement
'em.
officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier. And in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier. And that's what we want. We want to be able to enforce the immigration laws on the one hand, while on the other hand, we want to make sure that people in Minneapolis are able to go about their day. And I want to say just one last point on this. So I heard from a business leader today who told me a very tough story. And I think so much of what's gone wrong in Minneapolis is people not trying to understand the perspective of somebody else. Try to understand what somebody else is experiencing, whether they're a law enforcement officer or anybody in the community here in Minneapolis.
He really does.
They told me a story.
He makes a lot of sense.
About
He does.
this manufacturing facility
it's so
where
obvious.
an illegal immigrant was being arrested. And as these employees...
That's the issue that I've noticed a lot of. Even whenever it came to, like, the death of Renee Good, whenever they first do the investigation, like, half of it is true and half of it is just a straight-up lie. It's like, oh, someone was shot and killed. This person was shot and killed by an ICE agent. Anarchy, anarchy. And it's like, no, this person tried to run over an ICE agent. And yes, they did shoot and kill her, but out of self-defense, because of a split-second decision. Like,
are going into the manufacturing facility. All of a sudden, an illegal immigrant shows up. They don't know it's an illegal immigrant. And then a bunch of ICE officers descend.
Yeah.
Now, these people just want to go to work. They want to go to work safely. And now, all of a sudden, there's a major law enforcement operation happening right outside their place of business. Now, from one perspective, I certainly understand why a business leader or why an employee would say, whoa, what's going on? It's a little
stressful.
scary,
Yeah.
no matter your position in life, if a bunch of cop cars show up and they're arresting someone.
Would have never happened if
Now,
they
the
cooperated.
additional context is
Would've
that
never
we
happened
know that
if the state
people
had
online
cooperated.
have been encouraging
well, like, it's great. And I think J.D. Vance talks about this a little bit, but it just amazes me how no other state is having this problem. There's not a single other state in the entire 50 states of the United States of America that is giving the federal government this much hell. They would have already been done with Minnesota by now if they had been allowed to do their job and cooperate with law enforcement. But it just...
immigrants, that one way they can evade arrest is by showing up at a legitimate place of business, making it impossible for these
It's a
guys to
safe
actually
zone.
enforce our immigration laws. So while
Well, like, you notice, like, that's why there were all those videos of, like, the Uber people, they will show up to your house, right? That video where the lady didn't know what to do, so she called somebody. I don't know who she called, but the person that was the Uber driver was illegal, and they ran into her house, and she was more scared of the ICE agents than she was the fact that she had some random-ass person in her house now. And it's like, the fear and contortion that they throw out there on federal agents, these are federal law enforcement agents. Let them do their job, man.
the perspective
It's a safe
of somebody
zone,
who
guys.
doesn't want to
And yes, if they go on to, let's say they go to a Sears or a McDonald's, and they're there to get an illegal immigrant, and they have security there, and the owner of the business, because it's a private business, tells them they can't be there, they have to leave without a warrant. It's just like law enforcement, dude. It's no different. There's going to be some bad actors, just like in law enforcement. But you got to make sure that whenever you catch these people, that you actually catch them, and it's not some spent-off schizo. Because how many times are you going to cry wolf before someone's actually a fucking wolf, and then no one's going to believe you? Like,
arrest happened at their place of work. I can also understand the perspective of our immigration enforcement officers.
There's bad apples in every tree.
Who have to do their job and can't allow a heckler's veto over our immigration enforcement.
Thank you.
And so much of what's gone wrong is the failure to do that. And here's the point. We can do a good job of enforcing our immigration laws without the chaos, but it actually requires the cooperation of state and local officials.
Yes. Thank
If you
God.
look at blue cities and blue states, red cities and red states. You go to Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee. You go to the state of Texas, obviously a very red state, or the state of Tennessee, a very red state, but you've got blue cities within those states, you do not have this level of chaos.
Yep.
The reason why things have gotten so out of hand is because of failure of cooperation between the state and local authorities and what these guys are trying to do. We have a ton of resources, a ton of ICE agents in this city right now that I would rather us not have. I'd love to send those guys
have to do that. They had that surge after Renee Good because they have to have the initial targeting group. These guys have a target. They go and get the target, and then they have to have ICE agents around those people to arrest the people that are going to try and attack them for trying to get the target. So you effectively have an arrest team protecting an arrest team. It's so sad.
They're not even doing targeted immigration enforcement. They are trying to protect themselves, ICE officers who are doing immigration enforcement, because when a crowd surrounds them and these guys call 911, the local officials, the local cops have been told to stand down.
So they won't show up. They literally won't show up. The local officials will not show up.
People here who aren't even doing immigration enforcement. They're doing
it's what I've been saying the whole time. It's literally what I've been saying the whole fucking time.
So that if a rioter tries to ruin the life or assault an ICE officer, they're actually protected.
What the fuck
doesn't
is
it
going
make more
on?
sense for the local cops to get involved in that?
I feel like if the local law enforcement were actually doing what they were supposed to, Renee Good would still be alive. Straight up. If they had pulled her over, like if the city or the state police had pulled her over and arrested her, she would still be alive. Because she was using her vehicle as a blockade for ICE patrols or ICE convoys. You can't do that. Now, if she had been pulled over by an actual state or local police officer and arrested for impeding in a federal investigation, she'd still be alive today. There'd be a whole lot of uproar over it, but she'd still be alive.
Situation, why not just have the mayor or the local officials tell the police officers, you know what? If an ICE officer is being assaulted by
just
a far
arrest
left
the person
agitator,
doing it.
you are invited. You should actually help them. That's what would work out in
That's why
any
they're
normal
dropping
situation, and that's what happens.
He's right.
In nearly every jurisdiction.
And see, this is the reason why, I guarantee you, this is the reason why J.D. Vance, when he went to Minneapolis, he didn't talk to the mayor or Tim Walz. He talked to the police chiefs. He talked to the police departments. He talked to those guys, the head officials of that, because he knows that if he were to just sit down and have a roundtable conversation with the higher ups, it's going to be the same thing that happened these past couple months where, he's going to say one thing to them, they're going to blow it out of proportion and take it out of context or do whatever weird stuff they do and continue doing what's going on in Minneapolis right now. So what better way to get around that than to talk to the local officials, like the heads of the individual police departments and stuff like that, and let them know, hey, X, Y, and Z,
Red or blue in the United States of America. The reason it hasn't happened here is because the local authorities have been told, stand down, do not help ICE, promote the violence, promote the agitation, but don't do anything to lower the temperature and lower the chaos. That's a problem. Here's another example of how the lack of cooperation between state and local officials makes it harder for us to do our job and turns up the temperature. Let's say, for example, we have a criminal migrant who is a sex offender. And let's say that we've got to go and arrest that person who, Democrat or Republican, wants a sex offender living in their community. I would assume, I would hope that most people don't. But because they're an illegal alien, we don't know their last address. We may have known their address 3 years ago, but we don't know their address now. What we'd like to do is talk to local officials and say, you know what, according to the Medicaid rules, where was the last address this person was domiciled? Or according to a SNAP application, a food stamps application, maybe that could give us insight to where this person is today. Or maybe they had some local court trouble. We could go to the local courthouse or even the local jail and try to find where this criminal sex offender is today. The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate.
Why would
these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law? They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful.
It's crazy.
And there are a lot of things that all of us can do better to lower the temperature, but the number one thing that I learned today is that the best way to facilitate reasonable enforcement of the law.
You're right.
Well, who isn't mad about this? This is ridiculous.
Also, to lower the chaos in Minneapolis would be for state and local officials to cooperate. Now, I will say, on one final positive note, I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here, I think there are reasons to believe that these people are going to step up and actually...
I don't know about that. The thing is like you've still got the government officials inside of Minneapolis. Like, I don't know what the hell the name of that mayor is. You got the mayor and Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar, and they're all three of them. They're in such dangerous positions because until they let the public know, hey, not okay, they're just going to keep getting worse every weekend.
Ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted. Who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community.
Yeah, of course.
That's a good thing. Smart. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate.
Tell them to
because we can have immigration enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see in Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee,
is it bad in
or
Austin?
even rural
I don't
parts
even know.
of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee you, we're going to do the best to be professional, to respect people's rights, to not do anything that we don't have to do in order to enforce immigration laws. But it would make our
I feel like at this point, yeah, they should have already had military there, but especially if it keeps getting worse, they're going to have to. And that means that it's going to be like they're literally going to come in and take the roles of all the local police. Like that's what the Insurrection Act does. It allows the government to take the roles of local police and kind of, I guess, put them on temp leave, I guess you could say, and enforce the law. So, like, you don't just push the United States government out of your state. That's not how it works. You just make it harder for everyone else around you to function. That's all. You don't just get to detach from the United States government. That's not how the United States works. Like, you see this flag right here? Have you ever noticed how it's in every single state under the United States? Have you ever noticed that federal law is the law that rules all? Well, maybe you should take that into account.
Make our officers a lot safer, and it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of cooperation from the state and local officials. With that, I'll shut up and take some questions. Thank you, guys.
Jesus, bro.
He just laid it out, too. He was like, he just laid that out.
God damn.
ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE.
He just went in there and let him know.
Are you proud?
He just want to let him know.
Is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you know, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We just left Toledo, Ohio this morning.
You know what? It tends to happen whenever you don't tell ICE agents where the parents are. It's probably going to happen. Like, I'm sure he's going to talk about the individual where the news talked about how ICE detained some 5-year-old, and it was like, yeah, because they had the dad, but the dad took off and left the kid.
For an economic message.
Oh, there's a kid involved.
I see the story.
Oh, no, I guess we shouldn't have laws.
I'm a 5-year-old, actually. A 5-year-old little boy.
Yeah, I guess, right? Just because they have kids, that makes them exempt from every law known to man, right?
yourself, oh my God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research.
Here we go.
And
Here
what
we
I
go.
find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien.
And he ran
then
away.
when they went to arrest his illegal alien father,
He left
the
his kid
father
there.
ran.
Yep.
So
I
the
knew it.
story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America?
Duh.
If the argument
What
is
do you mean by that, Paul 01 ZFC? What does that even mean? Facius? What the fuck is a facius? Is that even a word? I'd assume you're trying to spell fascist. I'm just gonna remove you. Fucking schizos, man. We got a lot of them in chat today, I guess. I don't know. Don't know what it is, bro. They all coming out of the woolwork now.
you can't arrest people.
All their shit's getting shut down and they panicking. They can't use those bots from the foreign countries anymore to incite violence. Oh no.
Who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject
gotta
of
DM
law
him.
enforcement.
I've been
That
saying
doesn't make
this.
any
I've been
sense. No
saying
one
this
thinks
shit.
that makes any sense. Now, you know, there are so many of these cases like that where
Oh
if
my
you just
God.
understand the context, there have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second.
Right,
we
bro,
don't
I
want
love
ICE
you. Thank you.
arresting American citizens. They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens.
He is
So then I
on
look
one.
into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer.
What?
You can't have that happen. And of
That's
course
right.
they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a
shoots-
law enforcement
yeah,
officer.
tries to hit him.
Now,
Duh.
this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want
Am I the
these
shadow president?
arrests to be so chaotic?
No, we already have the
don't.
eyeshadow
These
vice
guys
president.
want it least of
We don't
all.
need
But
that.
if we had a little cooperation from local and federal, or excuse me, from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down.
Of
in
course
this
it would. Of
Yes.
course it would.
Go ahead.
Jesus. No teleprompter? Bro.
The administration seemed to say.
Yeah, well, you can go next.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you pointed it
No,
out.
that's fine. I'll take both.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to. After the Renee Good shooting, the administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete immunity. But today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration.
They did an investigation on the shooting and found the guy wasn't at fault. No one said they have near immunity. They just do investigations, and then if nothing can be done to them, they don't get arrested. It's no different than any other law enforcement officer.
Might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change in opinion? And if so, why the change in tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said.
Can we
that
just
all
put
the
that
Shadow
guy
Realm,
in jail?
dumbass?
Wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's
Why don't we
absurd.
just
What I
put
did
him in
say
jail?
Is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something
Yeah.
that federal officials
Put 'em
would
in
look
jail.
into. We don't want these guys to have.
I'm so
kangaroo
sick of these
courts.
people.
We want them to actually
Fucking
have
lobotomizer
real
in
due
the chat
process,
today,
real
man.
investigation. Because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But of course, we're going to investigate these things. Of course, we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and then ensures that if somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary
Yeah, no
action,
doubt.
but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think
Yes.
that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she rammed an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried.
That's what I've been saying too. I think JD Vance would make a fantastic president because he's not some old dude that doesn't keep up with everything. You realize that every time he gets answered a question here, he already knows what incident they're talking about. Like, he retweeted Asmongold. Like, he stays on social media. He understands the game. He understands it better than probably a lot of people do. I think JD Vance would make a fucking fantastic president at this point. Couch fucker got it, bro.
that if they call 911, no
Hey,
one's
you
gonna
see the
come to help
bloodbath going on right now, bro? It's just a bunch of fucking lobotomites. Every one of those deleted things is a lobotomite.
That is what produces this terrible situation, and it's something state and local officials here in Minnesota could solve.
Oh my.
Yes, sir.
Oh my fucking God.
Especially in regard to this cooperation and training values. It's a shame the kids have to get caught up
Wow.
in this. And, you know, towards that, sir.
It's kind of sad that I'm having to fucking block all these fucking retards today. Usually I like to embarrass them first, but my birthday is on Sunday, and I just ain't in it today, bro. I just ain't in it today. I'm fucking tired.
You know, it is a shame that kids have to get caught up in this.
I'm not trying to do any heavy lifting today.
And I'm very excited to speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but, you know, I mean, look, I am...
He's cooking.
As a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking. It's chaotic. It's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize
really not
that,
taking their
and I
shit?
can recognize that we got to support these kids. Well, on the other hand, saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement.
Yeah. Oh,
we have to hold both
there
of
it
those
is.
in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these.
Thanks, man. I'm turning fucking 31. Fucking sucks.
Actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
Amen to that.
President!
Oh, whoever that is going to be so annoying.
And their mayor said they haven't heard about what's happening in the city. And how this
Yeah. That's a Karen.
You said there was an altercation in St. Cloud. Yeah.
The mayor said that ICE did not communicate with them if they were in the city for immediate operation. The police
ICE didn't do something? Well, I don't know. Like, what is this? Like, you're talking to the manager?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
can I
it's
talk
one
to
of the
the
takeaways.
manager?
I talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations
I
we've
heard
had,
on this other
communication,
city.
We absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials and state and local officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we are communicating, but that also
Amen to
requires
that.
a two-way street, and that's the point that I make about state and local officials. These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they're
They're doing it already in 49 other fucking states. Why do you think that Minneapolis is the only one that's having trouble? Seriously, why do you think they're the only fucking one having trouble?
Do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality, but part of that...
Every other state knows better than to do this. Like, it's the federal government. You don't just get to decide what federal laws you're not going to enforce in your state. Like what?
They also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them. Sometimes they tell people where they're going, and then they find out that their agents' faces are on the, on Reddit or on some social media thread saying, "Here's this guy. We know he's going to be at this place at this exact time." So that communication has got to be a two-way street. These guys are going to communicate with business leaders, with local officials, with state officials. But we also need the local officials and state officials to do a good job
the eye of
protecting
Sauron.
people when they're in their communities. We're not asking.
I feel like Trump is the Eye of Sauron, and then like JD Vance is the beam. It's the light. The Eye of Sauron is from the Lord of the Rings. If you're not aware,
we don't want any police officer in this community, in this state, to help us do immigration enforcement. We've got that. But if a protester shows up and that protester turns violent against our immigration officers, we really
I feel like this is the last warning the federal government's going to give Minnesota. I feel like this is the last ditch effort before they end up having to use the Insurrection Act if it keeps getting bad. I think that's what this is. I genuinely do.
Need the cooperation of our local partners. We haven't gotten it yet, but I think if we do, we really can lower the temperature. Yeah.
Vacation. Oh my God. Oh my!
Yeah, so
shut up,
I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media. It's missing a whole lot of context.
So
and
he
we
knows
appreciate the
every
context.
single one of them.
It makes sense.
That's what's so impressive about this. He answers everyone's questions in this room, and he has an answer for every one of them. It's not some like dismissive answer. It's a straight up answer.
No one is saying I mean, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception.
Yeah, hot pursuit.
If somebody is fired at from inside a house,
you have to go
they
inside the
don't
house.
need a warrant to go inside.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Hot
person's
pursuit.
house. There are
Yeah.
very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement
He's
where law
prepared,
enforcement
yeah.
officers don't need a warrant if, for example,
I have not seen this level of just straight up competence from an elected official in so long. It's so refreshing. I don't think I actually know if I've ever seen this level of level of competence come from an elected official. The fact that this guy knows everything that's going on, that he's keeping such a wide eye on everything that's happening, it's beautiful. We need every elected official in our government to be I wouldn't say they have to be like JD Vance, but to understand and keep an eye on everything that's going on, and we would have a completely different country. We would.
they're an imminent threat of
Man,
their lives.
that's
But
right.
What we've said and what ICE has proposed, what the Department of Homeland
This is
Security really has
insane.
proposed in the Department of Justice is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law.
Yeah, of course.
Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we
Right.
would follow that law. But nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system. Typically, what happens, not always, but typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants
Man.
from those administrative law judges. And then, of course, with other cases, you get judges or you get warrants from a judge. That's very consistent with the practice of American law.
It sounds to me like they're trying to round up the people working with the area's law enforcement and just trying to nab them whenever they're doing stuff, so that way they don't need the warrants for right now. But it does sound like to me they're already working on getting warrants for these people anyway. That it sounds like it's just a matter of time. I mean, whenever you have 800 people, it takes a while to get warrants. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a while.
I'm sure the courts will weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's
And what's
house.
crazy is that if they had worked with local law enforcement, if local law enforcement was working with them and they had a prior address, they could get warrants. If the local law enforcement would tell them, hey, the last known address of X, Y, and Z was here, then they could get a warrant. It's hard to get a warrant for a location if the local law enforcement isn't helping them and they don't know where the fuck these guys are. All they can do is monitor and surveillance until they figure out where the fuck he is. That's the issue. And you wonder why they're just detaining random people. That's why they're trying to find these guys, because local law enforcement isn't helping them. How do you think people get warrants? You have to have a prior address. Duh. Well, you can't get a prior address if the fucking local law enforcement isn't telling them where these guys are. It's not rocket science, it's basic law.
Of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer
Yeah,
or
of
they
course.
have to do something in order to protect themselves. Go ahead.
Man. God damn.
Well, our understanding is that
God
you can
damn.
enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative
Yeah.
warrant. That's what we think. That's our understanding of the law.
This
That's
is
our
nuts.
best faith attempt to understand the law.
I'm
Again,
loving
this
this.
is something courts will weigh in on. I won't speak to that. But yes, most immigration law in our country is not done through the criminal system with the judge. It's done through the administrative law system. We're going to continue that practice just as they did in the Biden administration or any other administration.
They act like this is such a new thing. You realize that this has been going on for like 20, 30, 40 years now? Like, you realize that this isn't the only presidency ever that has done this. Jesus Christ, Bush did it, Obama did it. I mean, obviously Trump did it. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Jesus Christ, people. There's already a system in place for getting illegal immigration out of the country. God damn.
Ooh, Insurrection Act. Okay, this is a good question.
I did not talk to him today. I talked to some of his colleagues. Your question on the Insurrection Act is interesting. I've tried to understand this as well as I possibly could. And my understanding is what the Insurrection Act, what invoking the Insurrection Act would allow the federal government to
Use
do
the military, right?
is that it would allow the federal government to use the military
Yeah.
for local law enforcement
Yep.
operations. Right
Yeah.
now, we don't think that we need that. Now, the president could change his mind. Of course, things could get worse. But right now, we think
And I
that federal law
guarantee you the
enforcement
reason why they feel that way is because the local law enforcement wants to work with ICE. But it's like JD Vance said earlier in this press conference, somebody higher up is telling these guys not to do that. And what better way to get around that than to just go there and straighten out the line straight up?
Officers can do the job.
Because, like, if you've got one guy telling everybody from the top down, don't do X, Y, and Z, but then you've got the guy that's above that guy coming in a room full of eyes and ears of like 7 or 8 people as opposed to that one guy, then that's where you're going to see your change. Because that one, like, those multiple people are all going to get together and be like, no. Because he said this, we're going to do this, you know?
Federal law enforcement. Now, what I do worry about, again, is that the chaos gets
getting
worse.
Yeah.
If more and more ICE agents start getting assaulted, if other law enforcement officers start getting assaulted, that would be a real problem. But again, we have so much federal law enforcement resources here right now. We have so many people here that we do not want to have here. I do not want so many ICE officers in Minneapolis right now.
Well, what you could do is you could send in the U.S. military and pull half the ICE officers out. Because they won't really need the police at that point. They just use the military to play as acting police, send all of them home, tell them that their services are no longer needed at the moment, and then get the operations done, and then completely leave Minnesota. Done.
Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws, but to protect the people from the rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs, and we wouldn't need it if we had a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, the Minneapolis Police Department, my understanding is that the actual beat cops on the ground, they would love to help out, but they're being told by somebody.
It's so sad to see so many people hate on the Democrats, bro. Like, I'm neither. Like, if I was ever gonna vote, I'm always, and probably always will be poor as fucking shit. So, like, the Democratic Party was always for the people, and, like, the past 8 or 9 years, dude, it's just gone to shit. It's so sad to see that. And I kind of agree with, like, dissolving the Democratic Party, I do. A little piece of me thinks that if they keep getting all these schizos as Democratic, like, officials, we just got to dissolve the party and come up with a new one or something, because, like, it ain't working, man.
I don't know if it's
ain't working.
Afraid. They're being told by somebody not to cooperate at all. What kind of a person tells their local police?
I'm not an
"Don't
idiot,
protect
but you're
somebody if
definitely
they're being
banned."
Assaulted by a rioter. It's crazy,
Bye.
and it's got to stop.
Exactly.
Earlier this week, local
He's completely
Yes, you're an idiot.
It's not even a question.
Why are there so many U.S. citizens being caught up in this operation?
Why are there so many U.S. citizens?
Well, I think
'Cause
your
they're catching
question
themselves
assumes
up.
something
I
that's not
woke up vicious today, man. I don't give a fuck. I am just vicious today.
necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often it is people who have assaulted a law enforcement officer. They're not being arrested because they violated the immigration laws.
No.
They're being arrested because they punched a federal law enforcement officer. That is
Right.
a totally
That'll
reasonable
do it.
thing. Now, to the accusation
That'll
of racial
do it.
profiling, you know, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color.
Biblically
They're
accurate,
looking for
JD
people
Vance.
who violated
Isn't this
the
crazy?
actual law, the law of our immigration
Oh my
system in this
God.
country. And so long as we had more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted way. They would actually know where some of the bad guys are. I mean, again, you hear things that are hard to
Bro,
believe.
JD Vance cooked with this so hardcore. He cooked with this so hard. The fact that he just what an interesting shot. Man, Couchfucker showing his true colors today. I wonder if that's the face he made. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm done. I'm kidding.
But I've confirmed
I'm
that they're
kidding.
true.
He just
Sex
showed up,
offenders,
huh?
Sex offenders who we're trying to get off the streets, who the local officials won't tell us their last known address. So then the local officials
Why?
say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations, when in reality,
They're trying
we
to
would
find a
love to
sex
just go
offender.
to one house. The local officials won't tell us which one house to go to.
This messaging is insane.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? Dude, I don't know. I just woke up this morning and I was like, dude, I feel like dealing with no shit. Usually I'll have like little mini debates with some people before I end up banning them. It depends on how fucking retarded they are. But today I just woke up and I was like, man, I ain't doing it today. Today's Friday. I'm about to get the next 2 days off. My birthday's on Sunday. Not today, son. I ain't got time for this shit.
Police chiefs have said their own off-duty officers, so police officers, are being targeted because they are a person of color and asked to show their papers. Is that a concern?
Police officers are being targeted and told to show their papers?
Their own officers are being targeted, and they describe it as, quote, civil rights violations.
What the fuck
So
are
I
you
saw
talking
one
about?
story about this and one local police officer who said this. And look, certainly is it a concern? Absolutely. The first thing we have to figure out is whether it happened or not.
Yeah, you have to do this thing called an investigation. It's where you use the local and or federal police officers to bring in detectives and people that will do this imaginary thing that nobody's heard of, especially not Minnesota, called an investigation. And once they're done with the investigation, they'll have this thing called a conclusion. And once the conclusion comes out, it'll either say that this motherfucker lied, or that social media is retarded, or that it actually happened and then someone gets arrested. Jesus, it's not rocket science.
There is a good
I love how these people are questioning shit that's been going on for hundreds of years. Like, come on.
Explanation or a bad explanation. And of course, if somebody violated the
Oh,
law,
thanks, man, for the happy early B-Day.
Somebody violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens. That is something we will take very seriously. What I also
Stick around. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon. I take weekends off so my brain cells have time to recoup from the mental illness that is this country. We have a Discord. You can join the Discord and drop videos in there for me to react to. I do all the new political stuff. I do all the trending drama. I do it all, man. We have some like Midwest safety police videos. I'm an ex-firefighter. I'm a cold-blooded patriot. I love this country and I want to see it get better.
Is that many of the most viral stories of the past couple of
It's
weeks
bullshit.
have turned out to be at best
We
partially
got Nigel in the other chat. We stream to Kick, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. Well, we don't stream to TikTok. I upload to TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Skies for Losers, and yeah. Also, there's two versions of YouTube live stream. There's the shorts version, which you guys are on, and then there's the big version, the 1080. There's like the 1920 by 1080 version on YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you can actually click on the big box. Over there, we got God and a Fish, legendary fucking viewer. He's here all the time, 24/7, constantly.
Reality, based on the truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of a viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
Wow.
About the roundtable you just had, I presume that happened. Did you invite anybody with an opposing point of view to get an idea of why people are upset here? And just as a quick follow-up.
An opposing point of view? For what?
In an attempt to turn down the tent.
So I haven't talked to Governor Walz on this particular trip. A number of members of our
You mean the
administration,
bald
I believe our chief of
retard?
staff.
Oh, fuck. No, I didn't mean to do that.
Then the local officials
Why?
say, "Oh my God, more cooperation." I think, officer, that is a totally
That'll
reasonable
do it.
thing. Now, to the accusation
That'll
of racial
do it.
sex offenders who work more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted.
Biblically
They're
accurate,
looking for
JD
people
Vance.
who violated
Isn't this crazy?
violated the law. But this is not a racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color.
Biblically
They're
accurate,
looking for
JD
people
Vance.
who violated
Isn't this
the
crazy?
actual law, the law of our immigration system in this
God.
country. And so long as we had more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted way. They would actually know where some of the bad guys are.
They need to investigate every state. They need to investigate LA, where all the funding is going for all the fire homes that got fucked up. They need to investigate. I guarantee you, every single state has its own version of what Minneapolis has when it comes to that fraud. I promise you it does. And they need to go to each one of these states, see what's going to happen now that Nick Shirley made Minnesota get the eye of Sauron. What needs to happen now is Nick Shirley either needs to hire other journalists to do the same thing in other states, or what's going to end up, what I think is really going to happen is other journalists, independent journalists that want to become famous, they're going to go to these other states and they're going to start looking into where the fraud is. I don't think this is a red and blue. I think this is a very corrupt government that needs to be shut the fuck down. Or at least the bad apples need to get out of the government. That's what I think is going on. Who knows how deep this corruption goes?
You hear things that are hard to believe.
I wish it was as simple as saying, well, if we just got rid of one party, then everything goes away. The unfortunate fact of the matter is that you have to keep these individuals accountable for their actions. They're doing it because they're not being held accountable. That's the problem.
Confirm that they're true. Sex offenders who we're trying to get off the streets, who the local officials won't tell us their last known address. So then the local officials say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations when in reality, we would love to just go to one house. The local officials won't tell us which one house to go to.
This messaging is insane.
To that question, the local police chiefs have said their own off-duty officers, so police officers.
Yo, W chatter, that's so funny. You know, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but you know, like everything he's done in his first year has been impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's been insanely impressive. Like, I've never really been a big, heavy fan of Trump, mostly because he's running as Republican, and I'm like, even the Democrats are I would never vote for a Democrat now. I never have voted, but I definitely wouldn't vote for him now. I would probably end up voting for, if Trump was running for another term, I'm starting to lean into that I would probably go and vote for that. But I think if J.D. Vance were to run and he keeps a solid face like what he's doing in this press conference, I might actually go out and vote for J.D. Vance as the next president. I might.
Because they are a person of color and asked to show their papers. Is that a concern?
Police officers are being targeted.
Okay, we talked about that. I accidentally
viral social media story that turned out to be half false. Let's try seriously. What I also violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens. Viral stories. So we want to try people based on reality, viral social media story, truth based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, I agree. I think that if you let up on Minnesota, that's a mistake. They need to, if the protests keep getting bad, they need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pop it on purpose. They need to, if this next weekend is real bad with the protests and they keep burning down federal cars, they should just flood the entire state with like as many army people that will fit in that motherfucker. They need to roll panzers up the block if that's what it takes. Put some rubberized bullets inside of the cannons, or like use like fire trucks, hose down people. Well, actually, no, you can't do that in Minnesota right now. It's too cold. They can figure something out to make this stop. If you want to protest, great. Just stay off the goddamn road and quit harassing ICE. Stop attacking police officers. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Get an idea of why people are upset here. It's just a quick follow-up.
An opposing point of view. For what?
So I haven't talked to Governor
I feel like if J.D. Vance ran for the next president and he gets it, I feel like we're going to see 8 years of J.D. I do. I don't think the Democrats are going to be able to pull themselves together before the next election. I just don't. They're so gone. They're so rotten. It's not even funny.
On this particular
their entire morals have shifted to whatever this ideology slop is. Nobody wants it.
A number of members of our administration, I believe our chief of staff, spoke to the governor and has been in constant contact.
That's right, man. You got to get that no balls Tim Walz in there. Got to make that
Last
insult.
week, we've been in my office in constant contact with people here on the ground in Minneapolis. There were certainly people at our roundtable with opposing views, and look, I don't even know, whether it's public, but yes, we met with people with opposing views here at the roundtable. I wanted to get a perspective from everybody, but also, of course, offer my opinion that with a little bit more cooperation, we could lower the chaos.
Yeah,
we're going to keep on.
You can oppose somebody all you want. Sure, oppose them. But what you can't do is call a riot or anarchy a peaceful protesting. You're blocking off roadways to keep people from coming in and out. You literally have vigilanteism on your streets. People are stopping random SUVs and telling them to show them the interior of their vehicles. You have these people breaking into federal cars, stealing classified documents out of the cars, destroying the cars themselves, burning shit to the ground. Bro, that's not a protest, that's anarchy. That's chaos. Vance is great, and I'm just gonna ban you because you're retarded. I just can't, dude. I just can't deal with these fucking morons today, man. Like, part of me thinks that half the people that do that kind of stuff, they go into someone's chat like that and start calling, like, our elected officials' names and stuff. I feel like that's just botted fucking accounts or something.
We'll absolutely
Usually
continue.
I'll, like, click on them and try to look at their channel to see if it's, like, what I saw whenever Kurt got killed. But I just don't have the energy for it, man.
I will
just
say
go away.
that my
Leave me
sense of this situation, having
You're
talked to these
crazy. And no amount of conversing with somebody. Look here. Look here. I saved this video specifically for this reason. Oh, shit. I saved this video specifically for this reason. Let me see. Where's my playlist? Is it? It's this one. Watch later. Hold on, killer. It's this one right here. Hold on. This is what it's like trying to converse with one of these schizos down in Minnesota that are burning shit.
That doesn't believe we went to the moon. Someone I know that doesn't believe we went to the moon. So I said, what kind of evidence would convince you? He said, images of the landing site of the Apollo missions. So I said, okay, here's a website where we sent an orbiter to the moon so that it was close enough, because ground-based telescopes, they don't have the resolution to see the landing sites. But if you get close enough to the moon, you can. It photographed the entire surface of the moon, and there were the landing sites, and you saw the rover tracks, the base for the lunar module. That night, he went home and found it. Then he came back and says, NASA could have faked that. Well, I'm done with you. We have no more to talk about. Because
That's right. That's right. That's what it's like trying to talk to one of these people.
Went home and found it. Then he came back and says, NASA could have faked that. Well, I'm done with you. We have no more to talk about. Because he's not ready to be convinced.
That's right. There you go. That's right. Anytime I have somebody that gets in my comments and they saying stupid shit like that, and it's like, especially if they just immediately lead with a threat, it's like, dude, you're a
NASA could have
dumbass.
faked that. Well, I'm done with you. We have no more to talk about.
That's right.
Because
We have no more to talk about. That's it. Bye. I should just leave that shit up on a different tab.
These guys for a long time is this is primarily a law enforcement issue. This is the attorney general.
That's right.
This is the local mayor. This is all of the organs of local and state law enforcement. That's who we focus on, but we've certainly been in communication with the governor and his office as well.
Vice President.
Yeah. Jesus, bro. Yeah, he's just 1vXing them. This is great. I'm loving this.
It's so funny. I don't know if you're trying to insult J. I call JD Vance couch fucker all the time. If I knew JD Vance, I'd be calling him couch fucker to his face. And it would be totally just like to make fun of him. Like to tease him almost. I'd be like, yo, what's up, couch fucker? You doing all right today? I bet he would laugh too. That's the funny part. I guarantee you he would. Like, I wouldn't do that like out the gate. I'd get to know him like as almost like a friend level, and I'd be like, yo, so couch fucker, was that real?
The plan if nothing changes there here locally. And
I would straight up make fun. I would tease the shit out of him because of that.
Back to the thousands of agents. Are there any plans to go to any other cities from here?
Well, right now we're focused on Minneapolis because that's where we have the highest concentration of people who have violated our immigration laws, and that's also, frankly, where we see the most.
Vance is awesome, dude. Like, I would like. I got nothing. As far as I can tell, I have nothing negative to say about Vance. Nothing's come into my radar of vision that has made me dislike Vance. Every speech he's given, every talk he's given has been fucking. It's been spot on. I'll say that. He hasn't missed yet.
assault of our law enforcement officers. I mean, our plan is very simple. If you assault a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to do everything that we can to put you in prison. It's very simple. And most of these protesters, as much,
you may get away with that shit with your local police, but if you assault a federal police officer, they're gonna put your ass in jail. No, not in jail, prison.
Agree with
That's
their
what Vance
politics.
said.
Most of them have been peaceful, but a lot of them have not been peaceful.
Yes.
And if
That's
you
right.
go and storm a church,
That's right.
if you go and insult a federal law enforcement
You
officer,
can't do that.
we are going to try very hard. We're going to use every resource of the federal government to put you in prison.
Get your
Respect
ass.
people's rights.
Mm-hmm.
Respect
Get
people's
their
rights
ass.
to worship. Respect people's rights to do their job without
Yes.
being assaulted. If you follow that basic principle, the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to protect your
reasonable
rights. But if you
discussion.
go
I
after
know.
somebody,
Can
if
you
you
imagine
assault
that?
somebody,
Wow.
if you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into a church and harassed her, we're going to
That's
go
right,
after
ice,
you with
ice,
every
baby.
single tool that we have.
Vice President,
Yeah.
Ice, baby.
Your administration has said repeatedly this is about safety, about making Americans feel safer. So what do you say to people who are in Minnesota who say it's the overwhelming presence of ICE officers and federal officers and their tactics that are making them feel less safe?
Oh,
One
it's
thing
the
I would
ICE
say
that's
is, first
making
of
them
all, we
unsafe.
saw
Not
in
the sex offenders.
2025 the biggest one-year drop in murders in the history of the United States of America.
That's a lot.
Significant reductions in violent crime. The reason why we have less violent crime is really two reasons. Number one,
Don Lemon,
because we're enforcing the immigration laws and getting very violent criminals out of our country. And number two, because we're enforcing our criminal laws and putting guys who assault and murder behind bars. This is part of a broad effort to make us safe. And the chaos that people are seeing, and I understand there is frustration of the chaos.
I think it's a lot deeper than that. I think it's because they're fucking brainwashed. Seriously. I genuinely think it's because they've been brainwashed by like all this crazy, like you have to realize that the only one that I can tell that even talked about the Iran genocide that happened recently was Fox News. And I fucking used to hate Fox News. But like ever since they had that restructure and all that like stuff that had happened to them, they've been a little different. I don't know, like, I mean, obviously they're still biased news, but they're not as biased as like CNN or BBC or MSNBC or like all those other ones. It's kind of sad that it's that way, honestly. And like, for example, Nick Shirley, whenever he went and did the fraud, Tim Walz tried to say that he was like a leftist or a rightist or whatever, and was like, he's just trying to, you know, and like, and he's like, no, dude, like Nick Shirley was straight up like, whenever he testified in the Supreme, in the court, right? He was like, fraud is fraud. It doesn't matter who's doing it. Fraud is still fraud, and he's right. Doesn't matter if you're left or right. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. If you're committing fraud or a crime, go to fucking jail. Go to jail. I don't care. How is it so hard to be a tax-paying citizen that works a 9 to 5 that just wants to go home and relax and not do fucking crime? How hard is it?
I'd say that we're doing everything that we can to lower the temperature,
bullshit.
and we would like federal and local, state and local officials
Yes,
to meet us
Ilhan Omar too. I agree.
halfway. So much, so...
Perceiving it correctly? Are you saying that they're not seeing that it's the tactics or the presence of the officers that are...
Look, I'm sure that people are seeing a lot of things that would make any member of our national community feel very upset, but I also think that if you understand this in context, this is the inevitable consequence of a state and local government that have decided that they're not going to cooperate
They're going to
with
work in
immigration
opposition to the
enforcement at
federal
all.
government.
In fact,
Exactly.
they're going to aggressively not cooperate.
True.
Here's a basic illustration.
Well,
of
like you can do that without saying to not cooperate. If you go back and look at some of Tim Walz's speeches, you'll see that he never once has he acknowledged in any of his press conferences that ICE agents are still police officers. They are. They're actually above the police. They are federal agents. They're not the FBI, but they're still federal agents. They are there they can enforce felonies. If you do a felony and they see you doing a felony, they can enforce that. They can arrest you for committing a felony in front of them. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Like that's what, like if Tim Walz and that crazy mayor would just say these guys are federal agents, they're police officers, they're law enforcement, they can still arrest you, then this would change literally overnight. You would hope that it would at this point, but the unfortunate fact is that now that the masses are out there from all over the country, because I doubt that it's just Minnesota doing this. I guarantee you they've pumped Minnesota full of people from all over the country that are probably paid. There's probably a lot of paid people in that crowd. And I feel like a lot of that's going to change on February 1st after Trump cuts the funding.
If you are an ICE officer and you have to arrest a person who's committed assault and is also an illegal alien, but the state and local officials won't help you identify that person, many of the things that people in Minneapolis are seeing that give them pause, that frustrate them, that worry them, that make them feel like things are too chaotic, many of these things are coming from the fact that there's no cooperation with state and local law enforcement. And I guess what I would tell people, again...
I agree with that. They want to be the law. Have you noticed how they wanted... They're complaining about their amendments being violated. They're complaining about unlawful searches. They're down there doing that. They're down there blockading the roads. They're down there unlawfully searching people with actual no fucking ability to do that. They have no right to sit there and search people's vehicles. They're down there like it's literally doing anarchy. They're barging into churches, suppressing freedom of religion. It's anarchy.
Justifiably concerned and worried about what
they don't want to be. They're not mad that they're being. They're not mad that it's... They're mad that they're not able to wield the tools for themselves. They want to be the people to wield them. They want to be the ones that suppress other people. They want to be in control.
Why are
That's
we not
really
seeing
what's
it
going
anywhere
on.
else? We're seeing this level of chaos only in Minneapolis. LA and Chicago, we had some problems there. Pretty much every jurisdiction where these guys are operating, you don't see the same level of chaos. You don't see the same level of violence. You don't see the problems that we're seeing in Minneapolis. Maybe the problem is unique to Minneapolis.
Yeah, but the thing is like, the due process thing and the Fourth Amendment shouldn't even apply to illegals, period. You're not even from this country. Just because you set foot on the soil doesn't mean that the amendment should protect you. That's just stupid. I'm sorry, that's just retarded. The amendment is supposed to protect American citizens, not random people.
And it's a lack of cooperation between state and local law enforcement and federal law enforcement. Sir.
CNN. ICE has been operating here for years with less pushback than we're seeing right now. And even the St. Paul police chief recently said, is there not a way to find common ground without scaring the hell out of people in the community? Those are his words. And I just wonder, with this operation...
Scaring the hell out of people.
Yeah, I still game. I just don't stream.
You mean mentally ill, hysterical Karens?
Trust me, I still game.
Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. And I know you talked about you've been in touch with the governor's offices and the mayor's offices, but why have you not been able to speak?
Oh man, just get out of here, retard.
They don't want to listen.
Nobody
Well,
has
look, I
time
have
for your
spoken to some of the
retardation.
people in Minnesota.
Lobotomize.
I spoke to some of them today. I've spoke to others in the past. And again, our
There's so
staff
many
has
of
been in
these
very
fucking
direct
morons.
contact with pretty much every official with any influence
What's
or any...
crazy is I even put it on sub only so that way people would just fuck off. Like, it spreads so much misinformation and mental retardation. It's just enough of it, dude.
power
Seriously.
in Minneapolis. But no, we're not trying to send a political message. We're trying to enforce the law.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what has happened
Like,
is...
JD Vance absolutely annihilated that press conference yesterday. JD Vance, bro. Seriously. Absolute beast mode, JD Vance. So Don Lemon being charged with the KKK Act is such a beautiful thing to behold, isn't it, boys? You think that because you're part of was a part of the press, that you're just void from the law, I guess. Why have they got so many people down in Minneapolis and in Minnesota that think they could just overrule the law? It just blows my mind.
Don Lemon breaking the Ku Klux Klan Act on March.
Check out, I'm so sorry, it's not Decoy Voice. It's Legal Mindset. It's been a while since we've done a Legal Mindset video. Legal Mindset. Fuck yeah, Legal Mindset.
King Day. That's what we'll be covering today on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So let's get right into the PowerPoint here, the PP. We got Don Lemon violating the KKK Act. In case you don't know who Don Lemon is, the defendant.
He's a schizo that got banned, and then he not only did he get fired from CNN, he got oh fuck. he got trespassed off of it. So, like, there's actually a, oh god, what is that shit called? I'm drawing a blank. What's it called? It's where you can't go within a certain amount of distance of somebody. Oh, fuck. Apparently he was a sex pest, too. Allegedly. Restraining order. Thank you very much. He got CNN pulled out a restraining order on him too.
Case as we present it. He is a former newscaster. He worked at CNN and NBC, but he was fired by CNN.
I didn't know he worked at NBC.
In 2023, he led a group of anti-ICE protesters into an active church worship service on Martin Luther King Day.
This is an operation that is secret.
This is operation.
You know what's really funny? She got arrested. She is in jail right now. They arrested her. They took pictures of her. She has been arrested, boys. She is in a jail cell as we speak, waiting for court. She got cooked by this. But one judge down in Minnesota vetoed the arrest for Don Lemon, which is bullshit.
Pull up more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere. They don't
Good. Put these people in jail for so long. And then what you do, once you do this, there's the trick to this. You tell this lady, we're going to put you in jail for 50 years. Show her the papers. Be like, you're going to get charged for 50 years. This is happening. But we will take 5 years off your sentence for every one other person that you know that is connected to this, that is organizing this, that is paying for this. And if they get convicted and sentenced, we will take 5 years off your sentence. That's what you tell this lady. See how fast she folds.
That's to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual.
Disrupting the worship service, traumatizing elderly, children, and all the parishioners there in the name of this anti-ICE protest. So let's look into the plaintiff. The plaintiff is Harmy Dillon. That is in the DOJ. That is, of course, the U.S. federal government that has said that they are looking to take action on this, specifically to prevent further copycat instances and places of worship all around the United States being disrupted by protesters.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't put these people in timeout. I permaban them. I remove their ability to even view the channel. These people are in the shadow realm, bro. They're gone. They're in the void. They're gonzo. They're done. They're out of existence.
Really? So
they can't even view the channel if they wanted. And it's funny that this lady got caught by their own law.
The background here? Well,
that's funny.
Opening statements. The Ku Klux Klan Act is AKA the Civil Rights Act of 1871. That's just another.
They just getting charged with something from 1871. That is nuts.
Name for the Civil Rights Act of.
They literally just found a law and were like, "Stick it, bro. Throw it at the dartboard," and it stuck.
71. And the big thing that applies here is the prohibition on
even if they make a new account, it's not going to matter. It takes me 5 seconds. You really think someone's going to make, well, I mean, I've had it happen before, but like, not only do they have to make a new account, I think you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can sub. They have to sub just for me to click one button. It takes them like 20 minutes to make that. It takes me 5 seconds to just click one button.
Conspiracies, specifically conspiracies that deprive anyone, meaning individuals, of constitutional rights such as voting, assembly, or worship. Worship being the freedom to go to your place of
ain't
worship,
nobody in the
whether that is
whole
a
world
church,
saying
a
that
synagogue,
retarded
a
shit.
mosque, whatever, and be able to worship freely without having that right impinged upon by others. Now, this is a very serious act, and it can impose monetary and criminal penalties up to 10 years in prison. So there is some significant time potentially faced by.
You can't compare what's going on in USA like Nazi Germany, bro. I don't see piles of wedding rings and people being gassed. I don't see the Gestapo running around and stopping whenever protesters are throwing iced water bottles at them and shooting them. When the Gestapo roamed the streets for Nazis, in Germany, people were too scared to leave their homes and protest. So whenever someone says oh, it's looking like Nazi Germany or some retarded shit like that, I immediately disregard whatever comment that is because it's stupid. You can't compare what happened in Germany to anything else that we've had to deal with today. Germany was probably the most gruesome, horrifying war we have ever seen in this world. And the fact that you're trying to call our elected officials Nazis is disgusting. Who should really be ashamed of themselves when you try to compare somebody that literally slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, burned them, gassed them, experimented on them, ripped their fucking teeth out to make dentures for older people that were in their own culture? And you want to sit here and say that? You obviously don't know history.
Don Lemon and the others that may be convicted under this act. Now, the irony here, of course, this happened on Martin Luther King Day, and this very act has been used.
If you ask any actual Holocaust survivor, they will tell you this is nothing like what happened in Germany.
Multiple times in the past to stop people such as white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, from violating people's rights during Reconstruction. That was something that happened very, very, very often. However, in this case, it's going to be applied a little bit differently according to the arguments of the state. The state is alleging that Don Lemon participated in a criminal conspiracy because he knew the plan to enter the church and disrupt the worship service. It's very key.
You see, that's all I need to know right there. Time to wake up, USA, or it's too late. Motherfucker ain't even in the US. You see that? He's not even doing it disingenuously. It's probably just another fucking bot from a foreign country trying to stir up more shit. I'm just gonna remove him. See what I'm saying? It's always something like that. You always gotta be mindful whenever you go to someone's chat. When you go to someone's chat and you see that kind of shit, click on their account. Look at how many subs they have. If they got like 200-300 subs and they ain't even got a motherfucking video on their account, they fake as fuck. It's a bot. It's a foreign bot trying to stir up shit here in the West. It's like it's a new form of like terrorism almost.
That you know it's a conspiracy beforehand. So this is all going to turn on, and the argument of the state relies upon knowledge that they were going to disrupt that service and enter the church. This violates the Christian parishioners' right to worship, to have a freedom of worship that is unimpinged by anybody else, that nobody else is going to come in and violate that or stop them from worshiping freely. And this is something that the Ku Klux Klan used in very similar fashion during Reconstruction. Now, the argument of the defense will be that, well, they were more violent, and that's something that's up to the judge to consider.
Yeah, no, it's been a bloodbath in that short chat, bro. It's been like that all week. I'm happy to see lots of people coming out though. Like,
it's not part of the key element.
That's God the Fish. I usually refer to him as Nigel. He's a veteran, you know. He's actually I don't know if I want to go on and say the whole thing, but like he's got his own say in the matter because of where he's from, but he's in America and he assimilated, man. That's all I got to say about that. So Nigel, he's always here. He's always here. He's also in the Discord too, so like he's just kind of he's always here. He's always a chatter.
Knowledge. If you knew this was going to happen, then you might be part of that conspiracy. Also, interestingly, under the FACE Act, blocking access to places of worship is also illegal. This is actually a part of case law.
Bro, if I was you, I'd be making bank right now. I'd be going out and recording this shit every day. I would be standing very far back, but I'd be trying to record it. I'd be like, yeah, look at these guys.
Came out of blocking
just get yourself, and then whenever the riot police show up, you get yourself like a little fold-out chair and you just sit down and get some popcorn.
Access to abortion clinics, but it equally applies to places of worship, etc. So
stand far enough back and away, like make sure you're not downwind from the gas. But like
also be liable under this
stay
act
upwind.
As well, not just the KKK Act, the FACE Act. Now, in Don Lemon's defense, so Don Lemon will argue that, hey, I was just conducting journalism. And this is going to have a chilling effect, meaning it's going to discourage journalists.
Oh, it
in
is
the United
cold,
States
ain't it?
from
Damn it.
conducting journalism.
I keep forgetting that Minneapolis is freezing right now, bro.
He'd also argue that the KKK Act really hasn't been applied to journalism before, not in the same way. And
I don't understand how journalists have so many protections, man. Fuck that shit. You go in there and you break the law, or you're a part of something that's currently breaking the law, your ass need to go to jail too. That's crazy. Like, there's not a part of you that says to yourself, especially this biased reporting, whenever you doing something like this, not a part of you says that maybe this might be illegal and that you shouldn't do it. That you literally recording yourself doing an act of crime. Like,
individuals such as Don Lemon on Martin Luther King Day. However, that would
holy
not stop.
fuck. -40? Jesus Christ, man. You boys walk outside and your nuts get frozen to your leg. Fuck, that's cold. Holy shit.
It necessarily for being applied, it would just be the first application to a journalist.
Holy fuck. Dude, I could handle the like dry cold. That wind chill. Man, that stuff will freeze you down to your bones.
Lemon said he wasn't
I don't like
protesting,
wind.
and he said he was just conducting journalism.
I love the
alone.
cold. I don't like the wind. I don't like the wind one bit.
And when they asked him to leave, he says that that's the moment in which he left. So that's his argument. Hey, when they asked me to leave, I left. Because remember, guys, this is private property. Churches are private property. They are not the public commons. They're not a place where everybody can assemble and do whatever they want. They are private property. They can trespass you. And when they tell you to leave a church, mosque, synagogue, whatever, you have to leave, as that is private property.
What really sucks about this is that these protesters storming churches and stuff, if they don't push back on this, you're going to see these protesters, because like, for example, when they stormed that church, if the guy that is running the church, I don't know what they're called, I think they're a minister or something, asked them to leave because it is private property, right? And they don't leave and they try to call the police and the police doesn't pick up because ICE is in the area, you've got a problem. That's the big problem going on in Minneapolis right now is like, even if you call the police, if it's around an ICE facility, nobody shows up. So, like, if you're getting assaulted, if your house is getting broken into, nobody's gonna come. No one will help you. Like, you can't run a state like that.
That particular parish. Lemon can argue the protest was nonviolent, and I think that's more of a mitigating factor in terms of bringing down the penalty or the civil amount he'd have to pay in actual dollars. I think that's more mitigating, but it doesn't completely take away the conspiracy element. Now, in some of the kind of the wrapping up, looking at some of the other case law on this, whether he would
You don't even have to have respect. Just don't break the fucking law. You can go out there and protest and freeze your nuts to your fucking legs all day if you want. I don't care. Just don't impede the flow of traffic. That's against the law. Don't hit federal agents or police officers. That's against the law. Don't burn and steal shit. Don't throw things. That's against the law. And we'll be all right. That's all there is to it. It's not complicated. Just don't be an anarchist. Don't harass people.
Journalism and guys,
don't dox people. That's also illegal.
Journalism is not a complete shield. It's not complete immunity. For example, there have been cases such as blocking access to abortion clinics where journalists.
Yeah, man, you can use all those whistles that you use on ICE all the time down there. Just stay on the sidewalk.
Held to be part of that, and they were held liable. So there's cases in which journalists and journalism is not going to allow you to fully escape criminal punishment. Also, if there are any communications, if there's anything between the protest organizers, the people that were in charge of that protest, the anti-ICE protest, that would hurt Lemon. Also, think about the fact pattern here. Targeting a predominantly white church and labeling the parishioners as quote unquote white supremacists supports a hate crime angle. It does not matter that they are white, whether you're white, black, brown, whatever, it does not matter. It is based on your race, right? That is something that is supporting a hate crime.
Oh, that explains why they are using the Ku Klux Klan Act. Oof.
Race, nationality, origin.
Oof. Remember, though, boys, we're the racists and we're the Nazis and we're all the fascists and, you know, we're all these crazy things, right? But they're literally storming into churches and calling people there, you know, white supremacists.
Play in here. So this absolutely.
I guess churches have only been around since what, 2016? It's not like they've been around. Oh, wait, 1861? I wonder why, or whatever that Ku Klux Klan Act date is.
Force the angle of the KKK Act. Now,
Jesus,
there are
man.
possibilities of additional charges coming, such as child endangerment or elder abuse, child abuse as well. So that might be something that comes down the line when we see this going down the pike. Now, those could give up to 10 years in prison, whether
Would
it's
make
child
things
endangerment or
so
elder
much
abuse.
better. I wish-
Now, for the judgment, this is a great test case for the application of the KKK Act, and a thorough investigation should indeed be held. I do believe that this should be investigated very, very thoroughly, and that they should look into this very, 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 very closely. We need to get all the emails, texts, and communications.
I agree with this. I agree with this. Anytime they arrest one of these people, because they're getting paid, like that advisor lady, that black lady that we saw at the beginning of this video, she is getting paid. They have statements of her getting paid by the government, by the way, by the government, to get these things organized. Apparently, it's like an entire organization,
organizers and others involved
like an
in that
actual like
show-
business.
So how much did Don Lemon actually know? If Don Lemon knew that they were going to disrupt this service, then
He has video of him prior to them doing this, of what they were going to do.
he is certainly hooked in on this conspiracy. And if this act is inapplicable, other charges should be investigated, whether that is child endangerment or elder abuse.
Yeah, it's because there was a child there, and there were a bunch of people over the age of 65 that were in that church. So
whatever, both of those parties, younger people, we have pictures of children crying, and elderly people were impacted by this.
just imagine you're in church, and then you've got these people, you know, you're just peacefully praying, you're doing your own thing, and then you've got all these people that just run in and start doing that.
Are vulnerable groups. Violation of freedom of worship would be equally intolerable if it was conducted against non-white parishioners. So in my book, if this happened to a situation with a mosque or a synagogue, and this was a bunch of white people coming in or whatever, or if this was a bunch of Latinos coming in, it doesn't matter. It would not change the analysis here. And I think this is something we need to stop very, very harshly before there are indeed other copycats across the United States. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
Look, yeah, no, right? No. What you got to do is we got to get. So here's what we got to do. This is the big plan right here. So we got to make a prison that's kind of like Alligator Alcatraz, where like if you try to escape, the environment outside will like kill you, right? So we got to get Diddy, we got to get Maduro, we got to get Tim Walz, we got to get the mayor, we got to get Don Lemon, and we got to get that lady that did that weird protest in the church, right? And we got to put them in there, and then we got to like put them in there in a way that people can like buy tickets to go and see them, and they should be in cells like right next to each other, like skinny cells, right? And then like what'll happen is we can put Tim Walz on one side of Diddy, and then we can put Don Lemon on the other side, right? And we just give Diddy a bunch of fucking baby oil and say what happens, right? And then we put like 18 plus over the top of it. And then like what we can do is once we're done with that, we'll put up like a big glass pane in front of the cells, and then we can sell that shit, and we'll take the funding we get from that and we'll use it to deport more people. There's like a whole strategy there, right? Oh, Wingstop, huh? I've never been a fan. Actually, you know what? I can't say I haven't been a fan of Wingstop. I haven't had Wingstop. I can't say that I have.
Tagging me.
Okay, so hold on. Let's get the rest of this Minnesota crap done. Oh yeah, we're gonna leave that up. Alright. Do we have any new stuff from Fox? Hold on, before we move on. Let me check out Fox right quick. Haven't done that yet. We have any new goodies? Minnesota church protesters dared. What a bunch of dumbasses. Breaking 5 arrested in shooting in India, and a judge. There was a shooting, and everything else is stuff we've already, like, kind of seen. I'm going to move that over. Refresh it every couple minutes. Here we go.
Today, Minnesota bracing for a statewide anti-ICE protest dubbed the Day of Truth and Freedom as state leaders continue to...
These people just don't learn, do they? Just because you get more and more people and you start causing more, like, because it's another weekend, that's why. It's another weekend.
Push back against the Trump administration's immigration efforts.
Madeline Rivera is live in Washington with all the details. Hi, Maddie. Good morning, Carly and Todd.
When's the
Organizers
last
of today's protest
time
are
you
calling
played a
for a
game?
pause in economic activity.
I think it was last August or something. I don't know. It's been a while. But there's a lot of playlists on the channel. You can go check them out. There hasn't really been any games recently that have been, like, streamable anyway, honestly. I mean, maybe Hightail, but that's not really my bag anyway.
No school, no shopping, as they demand ICE to stop their operations in Minnesota. The protest comes a day after Vice President J.D. Vance visited Minneapolis.
Lemon pepper's so good.
State and local officials for the unrest in the city.
The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to
I've been playing the new. Hold on. I played. I gotta do it now. I gotta show you the kind of game I'm playing right now. Dawn of War 3.
Peggy 16.
Because I'm getting hyped up for Dawn of War 4, and I haven't played these games before. So this is the game that I'm playing. I bought the game, right? I got it on sale, 80% off. And then I loaded up the game, and this is the first thing that I saw. Immediate skin shivers, bro. It was great.
In darkness, I shall be light.
Dawn of War 3. It's a Space Marines game. They're about to release they're releasing a new one that is gonna, like, I'll show the trailer for the new one that's coming out, but it's gonna be the last one they're gonna make, and it's gonna be a fucking beast.
In throes of rage, I shall hone my craft. In vengeance, I shall have no mercy. In the midst of battle, I shall have no fear.
Motherfucker smiling, bro. He's ready.
Of death, I shall have no remorse.
Let's see. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. It's not this one.
Peggy 18. No.
It's not this one.
Rise.
The galaxy. We
Not
stand.
that one. Not that one. Is it that one? Hold on. Is it this one?
Peggy 18.
Nope.
Shall no fear.
Release. The hell's it at? It keeps giving me the damn faction one. It's not the faction one. Don't want the faction one, damn it. Is it this one?
Peggy 18.
The Emperor.
It is this one. Oh, fuck, I found
Peggy
it. Cool.
18.
So check this out.
We have fought the enemies of humanity across 1,000 worlds. No respite, no remorse, no mercy. Stand.
It's not this. Bro, what the fuck? Where did the trailer go? I'm gonna have to save that bitch when I find it again, huh? That's the Chaos Gate. That's Diablo. What the fuck? What'd they do? Take the trailer down? There's no way. Oh, why did Dark Angels pop up? Wait, what? Trailer. It's like it's the trailer. Let's try the original trailer. Is it the announcement trailer?
Peggy 8.
It's not this fucking trailer, dude. I know for a fact it's not the fucking trailer. Fuck you. It's not that trailer. Kiss my ass. It's not that fucking trailer either, dude. Where the fuck is it? I know what trailer I'm looking for, and it's none of these motherfuckers, dude. It's pissing me off. Is it this?
Future. Countless.
It's this one. Holy fuck, that was annoying. Hold on, before I fucking... There.
In the grim darkness of the far future, every soul's survival hangs by a thread. Mankind is beset by endless tides of aliens, traitors, and demons. Across countless worlds, battles rage. Lead your armies. Conquer worlds. Fight on as the galaxy burns. For there is no peace amongst the stars. There is only war.
This actual gameplay. It's happening over there too. That's crazy, bro. I'm not a big fan of, like, it's not even turn-based. It's not a turn-based game. You, like, take your factions and you can move them into certain areas. You can make more factions. You can build the buildings and shit, dude. I've been playing the third one. I've been enjoying the shit out of it. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been playing through it. I've been enjoying the hell out of that game. Okay. Alright. Enough fucking around. We fucked around way too much. Fucked around too much, damn it! Okay, let's redo this one here.
Today, Minnesota bracing for a statewide anti-ICE protest dubbed the Day of Truth and Freedom as state leaders continue to push back against the Trump administration's immigration efforts.
Madeline Rivera is live in Washington with all the details. Hi, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. Organizers of today's protest are calling for a pause in economic activity. So that means no work, no school, no shopping. As
They let out schools and closed schools down like weeks ago, didn't they?
Demand ICE to stop their operations in Minnesota. The protest comes a day after Vice President J.D. Vance visited Minneapolis, blaming state and local officials for the unrest in the city.
The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law. They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful. And there are a lot of things that all of us could do better to lower the temperature.
I agree.
Meantime, acting ICE Director Todd Lyons is giving more details about the 5-year-old boy who was taken into custody by immigration agents. The photo has made the rounds on social media.
The target of this operation was this boy's father. They went to pull the car over.
Didn't this already happen like months ago? Wasn't this like the first incident that had like made the rounds or whatever?
And the father ran. He abandoned that child. So our officers and agents, they stayed behind with that poor 5-year-old.
Yeah, what else are they supposed to do? They just going to leave a 5-year-old out there to freeze? Like,
frightened at the time because his dad just took off and ran. We took both of them into custody. You know, the dad opted to go and be removed with his son. You know, now we're turning it out that ICE is arresting kids at schools, ICE is arresting kids at daycare. This 5-year-old's left out in the cold. Absolutely not.
Onto that protest now that disrupted a church service over the weekend. 3 people have been arrested.
Are there any like pictures circulating with ICE agents being around like schools and daycares? I don't think I've seen any.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry saying this is a gross abuse of power. The federal government is picking and choosing who to investigate, going after protesters and not the person who shot and killed one of our neighbors. I'm calling for Nikema to be released immediately. Nikema is one of the protesters who was arrested. No charges, though, have been filed against Don Lemon, who maintains that he was at the service as a journalist. Colleen Todd.
Madeline Rivera, thank you. With that, let us bring in Kendall Qualls, running for governor of Minnesota. And Kendall, we just heard from the mayor, but he doubled down on his defense of these violent protesters in his city. Listen.
What makes Minneapolis different is that we have an influx of 3,000 federal agents on our street, and we're not the size of New York City or Los Angeles. What makes us different is we're seeing constitutional violations play out in real time. What makes us different is, yes, we do have residents that are beautifully standing up, supporting their neighbors.
Oh, man,
he refers to it as beautifully standing up, but protesting in a church is
Man,
unequivocally
illegal.
today, aren't they?
Literally,
the law says you can't do that. Impeding ICE, unequivocally illegal. The law says you absolutely cannot do that. And yet you have these leaders like Jacob Fry, like Tim Walz, continuing to encourage people to commit illegal acts like this. Should they be charged with a crime, Kendall?
Well, they should absolutely be charged. Obviously, they went in that church. Not only is it illegal, it's disgusting. And I call them cowards on a social media post because they never would have done something like that in a Muslim mosque. They targeted a Christian community. They've been targeting Christians in the state for the last 8 years, ever since COVID. That you can keep your casino open.
Man, you gonna fight a losing battle there. You trying to target Christians in a Christian nation? You realize that, like, Christianity is thick in most Americans' bloodline, bro? Like,
but not your church. They sued basically Bible universities here, Christian universities, telling them that the students, any student that have to sign a pledge of faith, they wanted to sue them. That we had to take them to court on that issue. So the mayor mentioned
I didn't even see him.
that what makes them different here in Minnesota isn't any of the things he talked about. What makes us different is that we have two incompetent leaders leading this state with the resistance movement.
Hey, Kendall, what do you think about this day of protest that's going to be taking place across your state today? That's the goal, and also to not go to school.
Man, what is it with these
or
people,
not show
man?
Up to work. Does that benefit anybody?
I mean, I'm going to probably play a game if there's one that's not, like, insanely... Like, I'll probably do a day one release of some games. I know that I'm definitely going to try to play the... what is that one game called? High on Life 2? I'll probably end up playing that one on stream because I did the first one.
In your state?
Well, it benefits the socialists and Marxists that are leading the state. That's the only people it benefits.
If they make an Elden Ring 2, we doing that for sure.
Does this. It distracts Minnesotans away from the $9 billion that we know of fraud. All of this is a distraction away from all of the mismanagement, the frauding, and the abuse of what this state has been through in the last few years under Tim Walz and Mayor Fry. Got to remember, these are the same men that allowed Minneapolis become a war zone for 4 days in 2020, and it's been going on now for far too long. We're ready to make a change. That's why I'm running. We needed an outsider from outsider politics to help clean up St. Paul Capitol.
Yeah, notice we're not talking about it anymore.
He's trying to run. I don't know about that.
That's likely by design. Before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts on this. House Oversight Committee now investigating how Ilhan Omar's family's net worth grew $30 million in 1 year.
Must be nice, man. You got people that do that have been born here, that work their entire lives and never get that amount of money. Must be nice.
Her husband's financial firm. Let's look at the finances here. In 2019, she entered Congress with a reported negative net worth. Then there was a reported change in household net worth from $42.44
in 1 year,
up to $25 million from 2022 to 2023, all tied to her husband's political consulting firm, Rose Lake Capital, which does a lot of business with Democrat-aligned organizations. Do you find this surge in wealth to be out of the ordinary?
That is scary shit right there. You realize that we have Somalian immigrants taking over Minnesota. They have firms that are... You're supposed to go to them if you've got Democratic questions or like you're a Democrat trying to be sponsored and stuff. You know how scary that is? You realize that these people are literally trying to take over our politics?
Well, we have a state representative that basically has said that they've run this state.
That's terrifying.
They're giving the Italian mafia a bad name based on what
Nah,
they've
bro,
done.
like we don't give these Somalian people enough credit, man. That's smart. That's clever. You called him stupid and dumb, but that's pretty goddamn fucking smart. Like,
Minnesota. Literally, I think she's only been in office 8 years. What a transformation. She's a refugee from another country. We saved her and her family's life, and she has the most ingratitude toward this country while reaping a $30 million net worth, having done nothing in the private sector.
Understood. Okay, Minnesota gubernatorial candidate Kendall Qualls, we thank you so much for joining us this morning.
that's absolute insanity. I need to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. That's insanity. Oh, we bake. I wonder if anything new's come up. If not, then we'll keep moving forward. It's the wrong mouse. Let me refresh the page. I don't think there's going to be anything. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we got some new stuff. It looks like this storm is mostly going to hit Minnesota.
Executed an arrest warrant in Minnesota. Woke Rasputin has
So this is the guy that was going around telling people that they should say that, like yelling at them, not telling them, yelling at them and screaming, say fuck ICE. And this dude is actually crazy, but they arrested him. Thank God.
around, and now he has found out.
Yesterday, I went into a church with Nakima Armstrong and I protested these white supremacists.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians.
Face on cam too, dumbass.
People. This attack on humanity.
You just make the investigation go so much smoothly when you film yourselves doing it. So yeah, do what Tim Wall says and just keep pulling out your phones and recording everything, please.
You got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes,
Here we go.
real comfortable while the people starve. You want to come and give me charges? So be it.
You want to come get me? You want to come get me?
You dumbass.
Well, they got him. Inject this into my fucking veins. BLM activist and Minnesota church terrorizer Nakima Armstrong perp walked.
Hey, don't even talk to me about BLM. Those people fucked over so many people in the public. It's not even funny.
Arrested by the Trump DOJ. She is one of the orchestrators. And here's Don Lemon interviewing this bitch.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Out, more of a clandestine operation. We show up some.
Operation Pull Out, more of a clandestine operation?
They don't expect us to come there.
What does that even mean?
And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now.
Half the stuff she's saying isn't even coherent. How the fuck does anyone follow her orders? You see, this is the problem. We got a bunch of people speaking a foreign language, even though it's supposedly English. Down there making decisions on all these brain dead individuals. We gotta lock this down, boys.
Self-report. Oh, man. What a self-report.
Stupid asses.
Demanding justice.
Isn't it crazy how they just go out and say this shit? They don't even try to hide it. We
They
didn't
don't.
see this one. Oh man.
Darn.
Bitch. That's just too bad.
It is what it is, ain't it?
Ooh.
Sucks to suck.
Ooh. Got him.
Mm-hmm.
Got him, bro. When ICE is more diverse than the protesters. Yeah, everybody
Right.
knows that. Two handcuffs. They gave her 2 handcuffs.
Got
Where
that
y'all
wide
see
load
that?
going on, bro.
Damn, bro. Like, you really in that kind of a situation. I mean, like, really, if you need 2 levels of handcuffs because you're in that, like, I mean, that's bad. Oh, no. They interviewed the woman that just got arrested.
And I do want to correct something that was said in the beginning.
Of course. Look what media it is. CNN. I'd imagine she turned everything from Fox News away, huh?
Did not rush into that.
Got to
church.
make sure that whenever it's edited and published, that it's edited and published in a way that makes your craziness look good, right?
We actually went and sat down and participated in the service.
This is before she got arrested.
So I want to clarify that. We didn't rush in. We didn't bust in. We were a part of the service until
You
I
were
got
part of the service?
up and posed that question to the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and obviously I'm
You pose the question?
not going to dispute your saying what happened.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
merely describing how CNN is describing it. I obviously wasn't in the room. And obviously the way you lay it out could,
Looks like
could
she's
dramatically
lying.
affect-
They don't expect
No,
us
she's
to
not,
come
is
there,
she?
And then we disrupt business as usual.
Mm-hmm. I bet you do. I bet you do. Okay, yeah. So, a YouTuber, a streamer yesterday, day before yesterday, because, well, let's just say that he opened up Microsoft Notepad and a bunch of things popped up, and one of those were links and IRLs to some pretty nasty shit. Pretty nasty shit. And somehow, Miskiff, funnily enough, got dragged into it. And man, don't you just love to see bad people get bad things happening to them? Don't you just love it? The sad thing is that we have to use XQC. No, nothing wrong about using XQC, but Asmund won't cover it because legal actions may be taking place.
The drama of the day or the crime of the day, actually, crime review is allegedly, of course, is the Lakari list. I think the initial post, yeah, that's not when it happened. Is I was still awake and playing League.
Cave feeds.
This is the main
What's
thread.
funny is that whenever he pulled up the tab to do whatever he was doing and then the stuff got leaked, I do believe he was getting off, but because it happened, he ended up staying on and ruining a lot more than he thinks.
Wait till is this real chat?
Bro leaks his notepad. And
Look at this. That should tell you everything you need to know about what's under this green.
It contains egregious material. It's censored. It's so bad it had to be censored for LSF. That's how bad it is. I mean, yo, you can say whatever you want.
LSF is the r/livestream fails. That's where they love to post stuff about Asmund and get him more followers.
It's so bad it had to be censored for LSF. That's how bad it is. And it'd be a crime if they reposted them for sure or some shit. Look at the tab names. Oh, I didn't even.
Cave feeds.
I just assumed it was awful. I moved on. I didn't.
Champions that I like.
I don't know what this acronym is. I'm just gonna be an ask. Don't type it. All couple.
I'm not even gonna Google that. I don't want that shit in my search history. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Jailbait? Is it actually? Oh man, I can't. Jeez.
Oh, I think that is what JBT stands for. It's like jailbait. Oh, that is sick
jailbait?
shit, man.
Is it actually? Oh man, I can't. GG's. Question, chat, guys. If you consume jailbait, does that mean if you get caught, it means you go to jail? Is that the catch there or what?
Asmund messaged me and said, "Bro, you need a separate PC for that stuff."
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, Asmund did say that. Asmund did say that. I mean, like, if you're gonna be a streamer, and you've got, like, even for, like, normal, you know, I'm gonna call them goodies, for normal goodies, dude, you can't, like, that's not normal. That's the kind of shit that you should go to jail for. I'm actually very proud of Twitch for banning this dude. And also Kick for banning this dude, because it's disgusting.
IQ should
Gotcha,
try
bitch!
it and let us know.
Allegedly, I don't want to get fucking sued, but allegedly that's what's going on
The
here.
clip I had,
Is that he was partaking in the illegal
Obviously,
stuff.
I knew what the content was.
Articles outside of Twitter. How can you shamelessly tell others to read more? I don't need
right,
to
Ice
understand
Baby.
whatever article you want me to read. All I need to understand is human psychology and incentives. And incentives and human psychology are the deciding thing else besides that. People act. How do people think?
Entirely true. It's goal donating. But what if the bigger plan?
There's more to the story than just that.
I can get a bigger prize when I do take.
That's why we're gonna have to take this in parts. So. Here we go. And whenever this happened, this guy straight up said that Mizkif sent it to him.
Go to a site, some shit downloads on your shit. You don't fucking want it. You fucking delete it.
If you don't know who Mizkif is the streamer that was allegedly abusing Imaru. And Imaru is now seeking legal matters into the situation, so...
That's just what happened, man. No way did he just say that live! No way did he just say
Yo, what's on my screen? What the fuck is that?
that live! No way did he just say that live!
Damn, bro. That is some nasty shit. Look at that.
No way did he just say that live!
Some downloads? What?
That's what happened. Dude, let's just move the fuck on, please. No way he just say that live!
I don't get what I'm watching.
It's over for him, man. I mean, that
He just said that he did. No way he just said that live. I'm sorry. What the
Yo, what the f is on my screen?
Mizkif is actually freaking out now. He knows the implication that this has. This is some heavy shit.
I don't get what I'm watching.
It's over for him, man. I mean, that
He just said that he did. No way he just said that live. I'm sorry. What the
Yo, what the f is on my screen, bruh?
Dude, Skeet Hansen is so good. He's so good.
Hello?
There's no way he just said that live. There's no moving on.
If you, Chris Hansen is also on YouTube as well. His YouTube channel is True Blue. Chris Hansen is actually on YouTube. Here, let me pull it up for y'all. Fuck. No, don't go to the creator dashboard. Oh, that was almost real bad. Almost leaked my damn stream key. True Blue. They still make uploads and stuff. He's still out there catching people. 15 hours ago, 3 days ago, 6 days ago, 8 days ago, 8. He's still out there, dude. He's still out there getting them. He's still out there. That's Chris. Scammer Payback is good. I like Scammer Payback. There's actually somebody else. There's somebody else that's better. I don't like how Scammer Payback seems too much like a money thing. YouTubers like Scammer Payback. Kit Boga. Kit Boga is better, in my opinion. Boga. Kit Boga is better. In my honest opinion, I don't like how Streamer Payback has like an entire group of people and how much he leans into trying to entertain. Kit Boga uses like a woman's voice and he sets everything up himself. Kit Boga's been around almost as long as Scammer Payback. Scammer Payback leans too much into like advertisers and stuff. He actually streams too. He streams doing this. If you look up Kit Boga on Twitch, he streams this. He actually streams this constantly. That's how he gets his videos, a lot like how I get mine. But like, nah, there's a lot of them.
He said his event is that his text file was randomly downloaded and he deleted it then. Well, it's a notepad. It's a notepad.
Trust me, if it'd be up to me, there'd be way harsher crimes for these sickos out there doing this shit. It'd be way hard. I can't even say what should happen to these people. I'd get suspended.
No, that wouldn't make sense. What?
It's literally a text document. That was deleted. I love you.
You just said that you download things and sometimes bad shit's on it and you have to delete it.
Bro. I don't have any of this
Are
shit
you
on my
kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
So Mizkif is freaking out because he said that he got this stuff from Mizkif.
I highlighted it, which means he copied it.
What kind of are you watching where you have?
Oh, wait, does that mean that
such a problem where you can download pedophilia?
He started blaming it on a
what
virus,
line are you
then said
on?
It was Riot Vanguard who did it low.
Just so you're aware, Mizkif has said that he's probably going to end up suing him for defamation. Straight up.
Huh?
What line are you on? What kind of are you watching, Lakari, that is so close to the line of pedophilia that you
on the line
sometimes download pedophilia by accident? I cannot believe he
this is one of the reasons why I want these fucking kids off the internet, bro. Whenever you can't, like To Catch a Predator, you do realize that True Blue channel is completely unmonetized because they can't get anything monetized? You know how fucking stupid that is? Like, you can't say certain words. Like, you can't even say, like, in order to say child, or, like, you have to say, like, for example, what Skeeter Jean does. He says, like, cupcake, the 9-year-old cupcake. You can't say child in the same sentence. It's fucking retarded. We need to get these fucking kids off our goddamn internet, bro. Seriously.
Said that. I cannot believe he just said that, Axton. He fully just said sometimes you download shit. I cannot believe he just said that, Axton. He fully just said I sometimes download shit by accident. And then
you can't even, like, watch videos without that. It's so stupid.
Am I crazy?
Highlighted it, meaning he opened it and copied it. Yes, I'm saying.
No, you're not.
Ooh, I almost clicked on that by accident. Okay. Oh, wait. No, go back. No! You motherfucker. You dirty motherfucker, you. God damn it. Oh, shit.
Republican Congressman and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota is standing by. We will begin with Garrett Tenney
This is
on
new.
the ground in Minneapolis. Garrett.
Harris activists are extremely well organized here in the Twin Cities, and they are so much so that they are able to harass federal agents here at almost every turn, including when they're just trying to use the bathroom. Fox got an exclusive ride along with federal agents, Border Patrol yesterday, to give our viewers a sense of what it is that they are facing on a daily basis here. This video is from outside a gas station where Border facing on a daily
Hassan?
daily basis here. This video is from outside
I had to
a
throw
gas
some shade
station
in there.
where Border Patrol stopped just to use the bathroom, and you can see how fast a crowd formed outside, getting into agents' faces as they walked back to their cars. Then, a few minutes later, some of the activists tried blocking off the agents, blocking them in, and forcing the officers to get out to try to clear the road. One person allegedly spat at the agents, and you can see when several agents were trying to detain that person, some of the crowd tried to break in to free that individual as officers were trying to take them into custody. Agents deployed tear gas and pepper spray to clear the crowd and just to be able to get out of there. This past hour, Commander Greg Bavino said activists need to realize the federal government isn't going to stop doing its job to enforce the laws of our country.
We're not going to be deterred in conducting the Title VIII mission. No,
You don't just leave a state in your government. That's not how that works. Like, people that are dropping, I've had people dropping in my comments and they're like, then I should leave. And it's like, that's not how you solve that problem.
No matter what that climate is, no matter that violent rhetoric by Mayor Fry.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to leave. Like,
and others, individuals that come into churches. So CS gas, pepper balls, a whole litany of less lethal devices were used to ensure that our agents, those agitators and rioters, and the public were safe, and that we continue to conduct that mission.
You see, if that was the Gestapo, then everyone would just be dead. See, that's the difference. If you really want to know the difference, you see, what's happening in Iran is what you would call what people think is happening in Minneapolis whenever they're not. You know why? Because they're still alive afterwards to bitch, moan, and complain about it.
We're told that Vice President J.D. Vance will be meeting with some of the ICE and Border Patrol agents who have been operating here to express his...
I genuinely think that that's what's probably going to end up happening. I think that if this doesn't stop, Trump is going to be forced, unfortunately, to use the Insurrection Act. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I mean, there's only so many things that you can do.
Thanks and his support for their ongoing efforts to enforce the immigration laws of our country, despite the increasingly hostile conditions that they are facing here, both from a weather perspective and
I think so
from
too.
The growing protests that are not letting up, despite temperatures well below zero. Protesters.
Well, that's because nobody's having to go in right now. That's why. Nobody's being forced to go into work because they let out all the fucking schools, because they know that when February 1st hits and the funding gets cut off from that state, they're cooked. Like, whenever February 1st hits and the funding is completely cut off from that state, they're completely cooked. Everything's probably going to get shut down.
To continue today and tomorrow. Harris?
Thank you very much for getting us started, Garrett. Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip and Republican Congressman of the great state of Minnesota, is with me now. And of course, returning its greatness is what everybody is focusing on right now, with a whole lot of chaos going on the ground in the Twin Cities. I first of all want to get your response to what happened.
See, that's the problem. They're paying these people, man.
City's Church on Sunday.
Totally unacceptable, Harris, and thank you for having me. Thanks for reporting on this. And God bless President Trump and J.D. Vance for bringing the attention they brought to the lawlessness that we have in the Twin Cities. Entering into a church and disrupting a faith community in the practice of their faith is totally unacceptable.
Boy,
hats off to Pam Bondi, the organizer of that so-called protest. Was arrested this morning. I understand a school board member from the city of St.
Damn, he got banished to the Shadow Realm.
Arrested as well.
Damn, who'd have thought?
And hopefully there'll be others. The way this is going to end is, one, you got to start honoring the rules.
Proof for what, bro? What? They got to prove it to you? Who the hell are you? You just some moron that's agreeing with everything that's going on in Minneapolis, man. All the rioting, looting, and fucking unfortunate death that they're bringing on themselves. Like, just leave the police alone.
Two, law enforcement has to work together, and it's very sad what's happening in our state. But I'm hopeful that it's going to settle.
Bro, you just gotta just have a conversation. Stop immediately going into someone's comments, calling them a name, and then being like, "Oh my, that proof. Where's your proof?" I've yet to see any proof of half the shit y'all are saying. And even whenever you guys, quote unquote, show proof, just like whenever Renee Good got shot, it was 7 angles of the same bullshit. Nothing. It was 7 angles of twisted narrative. And then the full video got released, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we just pretty much, like, I was validated. I already knew what had happened. I didn't need any more verification. If you saw those 7 angles and you managed to come up with some other crazy storyline in your head, then that's on you.
People are going to come to their senses. And let's point out, Harris, the people that you're seeing in these in the videos, the vast majority of them, I'm going to tell you, I do not believe are from Minnesota. These are organized chaos agents. There are agitators that are paid. The vast majority of Minnesotans that I know.
There's an entire industry around this. That lady that got caught, the black lady, they talked about this yesterday on Fox about how, like, that lady is actually being paid to do that. Like, that's what's insane about this. That's why, like, whenever the federal funding gets cut, They can pass whatever bill they want. They're going to run out of funding. They're going to run out of funding because the federal government's not giving them anymore. Then they're going to be fucked. Because like you realize that the government is paying for your fire departments and your first responders, your police officers, it's paying for your schools, it's paying for everything. It's paying for everything. It's paying for your hospitals. Like, that's all tax money. How do you think they stay there? Even all the businesses there, they have tax money that they get every year. That money in that's already in the state is going to dry up quick. It's going to dry up real quick. Why do you think all the Somalian fraudsters were trying to take federal government money? It's because the state doesn't have any. Duh. Why do you think they were tapping into the federal government's funds?
Federal law enforcement has arrived, and they are happy they're there picking up rapists, murderers, child sex offenders. I mean, that's the story that needs to get out. That Tim Walz and Keith Ellison have allowed these people to walk our streets for years in spite of deportation orders.
And it sucks because, like, there are people that are going to be out there that are going to need assistance, and I feel so bad for those people because they didn't ask for this. The people that are just trying to work their jobs and do their thing, and, you know, now if they get hurt, they can't even call law enforcement to help them if they get assaulted or the house gets broken into just because ICE is in the area. Now, things may have changed since J.D. Vance's, you know, talk yesterday. Hopefully, some of law enforcement or some of the chiefs of the police will be like, maybe we should do something because our job isn't about our politics. It's about actually helping people. And if there are people out there even being hurt by ICE that need help, then, you know, like, you get what I'm saying? Oh, it's Chase, man. I haven't seen Chase in a minute. Damn, bro, you've been hiding.
Convictions. And finally, the federal government is doing the job that they've refused to do.
Let me see.
Yeah, you know, what's hard to believe, and you mentioned that school board member, I checked her out, her profile out. She has a job that deals with children. There were children who were frightened inside that church. And I'm looking at this background of Chantil Allen, who is the person who's arrested along with the other who they suspect helped organize all of this. I mean, these are people actually in the community. Your reaction to that?
Well, look, when you've got leaders like Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, and you got this
already looked at that, Chase. We looked at that this morning.
You've got
Fable looks real good. I'm very impressed with
woke
Fable.
Prosecutors who want to prosecute cops instead of criminals. Harris, I'm not surprised that these people are encouraged to make these stupid
I'm kind of surprised,
decisions.
Chase, why don't you join YouTube, man? Over on the YouTube side, like, there's like chats going on, bro. It's only Twitter that's Twitch that's dead. Not Twitter, Twitch. Like, there's like a whole party going on over there, bro. It's a bloodbath in the comments. It's pretty funny shit.
Which clearly don't fit with what their background is, but now you hold them accountable. That's the key.
Still, it's always so nice to see Chase come back.
After someone's faith community, guess what? You violated federal law. You're going to be charged, and hopefully you're convicted. And people see that you can't do this stuff. You're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, I know. I'm still getting used to that.
A new opinion piece says
just like
this.
calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. It's definitely something to get used to.
When Christians are under attack, Keith Ellison, that's the AG.
What if every president past Donald Trump calls the Gulf of, like, America their own name? Like, next we'll have Gulf of, like, maybe J.D. Vance or whoever the Democratic runner is. Or, like, after that we'll have, like, the Gulf of, I don't know, someone else. Wouldn't that be funny?
Minnesota looks the other way. The Minnesota Attorney General denied that the angry mob broke federal law in that horrible church storming. A former pastor of that church.
Right?
And friend of the
or like they'll take like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, not Mississippi, what the fuck, Florida, and there's like a few states there in there. They could take all those states and like take one letter out of each one of those states and like make a word.
Pastor there who was preaching at the time when all this happened was
they'll
with
take
me
like
in
the first abbreviation of each state and then like make a word.
Focus yesterday.
Though Texas does border most of the Gulf. That's for sure.
Every town in this country is filled with people like this who want to worship Jesus, love one another, serve their neighbors, seek the good of their cities. To have these,
I kind of like Gulf of America. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's America's anyway. So why the fuck did we call it Gulf of Mexico? That's weird.
Lawless demonstrators, these lawless agitators enter in, take over the service, yell, scream, frighten children was absolutely appalling. And I think it's appalling that the state officials there and the mayor seem to not be concerned about it.
America, that's right.
Pastor Rigney speaking the truth there. Look, the AG says the mob did not violate any clearly stated laws. Well, actually, clearly they did.
They did. They broke several.
They were violating the attempt to interfere, or they were perpetrating the attempt to interfere with a lawful gathering in a place of religion.
I love how these people don't ever want to apply the laws unless it's in the benefit of their own fucking bias. That seems to be how it goes. Like, if you break the law, regardless of what side you're on, you should still go to jail. I don't care what color, nationality, race, religion, sex. I don't give a fuck, bro. You should go to jail. Broke the law. Go to jail.
And that
but it's no longer illegal. It don't matter. They broke the law when it was illegal. Guess what? Stay in jail. Serve your sentence. Don't break the fucking law. It's there for a reason.
Prohibited.
It is, Harris. It is, Harris. But there's another thing he said, which is this behavior did not violate the First Amendment. This is what they do. They just go to talking points. Keith Ellison is a lawyer. He's our attorney general. He's an embarrassment. He would prefer to prosecute cops and defend criminals rather than doing his job. And by the way, when you suggest that interrupting a faith community while they're worshiping...
What if he did that? What if instead of calling it Gulf of America, he just said America, and it's now named the Gulf of America?
Is a exercise of your First Amendment rights, I would suggest he head back for a refresher course in law school, because he clearly didn't learn the law, because he certainly doesn't understand.
Bro. That would just be funny.
Or go back to 9th grade and study the Constitution. All right.
That's an idea.
Those federal agents also are focused on Minnesota's...
I feel like the Gulf would be a good fit. So that way it's not like it's giving it to somebody and it's not like it's claiming it, you know? I kind of feel like that would fit it even better, just calling it the Gulf.
Fraud scandal. So there's a lot going on in your state right now. That was the topic of a House hearing yesterday.
See, that's the new Minnesota flag.
Key witness, independent journalist Nick Shirley, whose videos magnified the attention to the fraud, testified this. He laid out what he calls a mountain of red flags, apparently ignored by Minnesota Democrat leaders.
Have like a part to it, be like, yeah, this is America, and then we've got America Part 2, so it's like the Gulf of America Part 2.
Watch.
the 51st.
People like Governor Tim Walz call people like me a white supremacist.
Bro, it is so good to see him in a tuxedo, looking spiffy behind that microphone. To see Nick Shirley testify against all this fucking fraud, because none of these other journalists, even Fox News, I'm holding accountable for this, even Fox News, every one of them, to not go around these states and try to find stuff like this is disgraceful, and they should have all of their licenses taken away. How is it that YouTubers are doing what the media used to do? It's fucking disgusting, and it's shameful.
Conspiracy theorist, he actually decided to drop out of re-election because I believe of how deep and extensive this fraud is. I made this video to document the widespread fraud that has been taking place, as I truly believe all fraud is bad. And people like me, my generation, we're sick of seeing tax dollars go towards fraud.
I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a known thing that he's not a very good speaker. So he's doing his best up there, okay? That's why he's a little slow. But Nick Shirley, dude.
Debate isn't just playing out in Congress. It's exploding across the culture as well. Author and human rights activist Ayan Hirsi Ali, who was born in Somalia, says the West is being overwhelmed. And she says President Trump is right to sound the alarm on that.
Trying to erase that culture that, yes, has made us so wealthy and so powerful is wrong. And Trump is right. And in this case, I think he's using the bully pulpit, the office of the president, to get that point across.
Congressman, I want to hear all about your legislation to strip naturalized citizenship from convicted fraudsters, terrorists, and felons. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. First off, I want to compliment
Fasting
you for playing Nick
sucks.
Shirley again. That young man found more fraud in a matter of...
He's like 20, bro. How come it is you got all these people raking in all this fucking money all over the country, all these big media broadcasters on national television raking in all this money? Took a 20-year-old with a couple thousand followers on YouTube to go out there and do with those jobs. The whole reason why they even have those jobs right now is because of what that young man did.
Hours than Tim Walz and Keith Ellison have found in 7 years.
It's shameful.
You know why? Harris, because he looked for it.
Exactly.
They refused. They've looked the other way. You got whistleblowers out there that say Tim Walz and Keith Ellison were told about the fraud when it was happening, that they not only ignored the whistleblowers, they retaliated against him. This will all be exposed in an upcoming grand jury, I hope, that our U.S. attorney is going to hold. But going forward, I have authored something called the Scam Act. It's our naturalization laws in this country already provide that if you commit, for instance, marriage fraud to circumvent immigration laws, it doesn't matter if you've been naturalized as a U.S. citizen. You can be denaturalized. What we are doing is expanding that law to include someone who commits an aggravated felony, someone who's involved in espionage, somebody who's connected with a terrorist group, and somebody who defrauds the generosity of the American people. I got news for you. If you come to this country and you want to lie, cheat, and steal and not assimilate and become an American, you can be denaturalized and you should be sent back to where you came from.
Real quickly, is that because it would appear that that's an act
Gulf of America?
Citizen sedition? I mean, to work against us, to use our tax money against us?
Well, I look at it this way. Citizenship is not a right, Harris. It's a privilege. You come to this country because it's the greatest country on the face of the planet to chase your version of the American dream. If you came here from a country where you have to lie, cheat, and steal to survive, like Somalia, and you continue to lie, cheat, and steal and take advantage of Americans' generosity, I don't care what your purpose is. You do not deserve to be a citizen of this country, and you should be denaturalized and sent back to where you came from.
Congressman Emmer, great to have you in focus today. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Harris.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris Faulkner.
Man, we got a whole lot of shit. Oh, what the that's new. Huh. Got a whole lot of fuck shit going on in this country, man. It's fucked. Okay, we gonna probably watch this and then roll up out of here till Monday. Like I said, I usually stream Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon. So, and that depends. I don't know. Apparently, the freeze is going to be bad. I don't know how bad. As long as we have power, I'll stream. Obviously, I can't stream if I don't have power, but we should have power. I think they're just, I hope they're overreacting when it comes to that freeze that's going to be hitting us here. I hope. I'm trying to fix it, man. There's so many people, like, trying to block him. It's fucking crazy. Oh, whoops. Let me do that. Get off the screen. Thank you. There we go. Jeez. Gulf of fucking America. The fucking Gulf of America. That's a good one, man. That's gonna keep me going all weekend.
Had someone threatening the direction.
Oh yeah, check out Midwest Safety W. Midwest Safety, hell yeah, Midwest Safety. Billionaire son enters deadly standoff with the popo, man, with the police, the cops.
Workers, he was outside of
Brown County, Ohio. Man, he's in the wrong state. He's got to go to Minnesota, so that way, you know, he can really show his privilege there.
Put a vest on and then started waving a knife around. I'm going to kill you, and then peeled out of here. He just left through the field next to our dispensary, but we do have his ID.
Oh, so they got a marijuana dispensary. That's funny.
I believe that this is going to be that same subject from the reckless operator up at Arby's.
Nearly an hour after the 911 call, Ohio State Highway Patrol pursued the $100,000 Land Rover Defender south near Cincinnati through West Union. Despite successful...
No, me and Nigel or God and a Fish, we in how's it going, Savannah Mayor? We are both in Texas.
Deploying stop sticks. The chase continues.
In my apartment, I'm always an arm length away from a handgun. I've stated that very clearly multiple times. I love my handguns.
Speeds over 100 miles per hour.
He's passing me now.
I got suspended for 24 hours because I showed my I got a gun that has like the Sam Houston quote on it. And it's like engraved. It's beautiful. 1911, dude. The slide is like butter. And I got suspended for showing it on stream. It's bullshit.
By this point,
I feel
officers
oppressed.
likely identified their suspect as Christopher Lindner.
Why? I'm not out there punching police officers in the face. The fuck?
Multi-billion-dollar Lindner family, nothing short of a Cincinnati dynasty. Their name is stamped across sports stadiums, private school and
Moyer.
university complexes,
Okay.
research centers, and more. Even the very gas station chain where police deployed stop sticks is owned by the family. Despite their success, Christopher holds a troubled history.
Moyer.
3 weeks earlier, his wife obtained a restraining order after telling police he believed he was Jesus Christ and needed to
I
help
don't
bring
think
on
it's
the rap.
hard to pronounce. It's that you've got to, like, whenever you see a name that's all bunched together, it's harder to, like, you know, pick it out. I feel like if the Moyer was capitalized, it would have been easier to, like, be able to be like, oh, that's two different words.
She allegedly watched security footage inside their home of Christopher, equipped with a bulletproof vest and a sidearm, commanding non-existent angels in a battle against demons that were not there. Several years prior, in 2019, she told police that while under the influence of drugs and alcohol, he screamed obscenities while pointing a gun at her and their 4 children. She handwrote details of physical abuse in the following years, citing more threats with guns. Some incidents were
I
allegedly
want to get an AR at one point. I just don't know when.
documented with photographs. She described a separate incident where he claimed to be the prophet Elijah reincarnated on a mission to destroy God's enemies. He allegedly
Yep. We got to put this guy in a box. We got to put him in a box. We got to open up the Happy Hotel. We got to find him a space inside of the Happy Hotel. We got to give him a nice little padded vest and a 4x4 wall with 4x4 white walls, so that way he can sit there and rock back and forth, take his pills, and be happy. We got to put this guy, preferably in the Happy Hotel. The ground is a nice alternative, but Happy Hotel
to
first.
ask if she was an enemy and threatened to crush and destroy her if she was, adding he wanted to kill others he believed were following him. Courts ordered Christopher's gun seized from his properties, but officials failed to do so. His history indicates he may be a survivalist stockpiling dozens, if not hundreds of guns and rifles and thousands of rounds of ammunition.
Jesus.
A detail officers might have in mind as the pursuit leads straight to his house.
Ooh, they got to get that motherfucker before he go in his house, man. It's going to be an armed uprising up in there. Woo!
Southern device and stop him before he gets into that house, so you know, and him getting into the house.
He's cut back through the woods. I'm gonna try to follow.
I know, right?
You might he drove through the woods?
We're on a trail down into the woods.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to follow him back through here without getting hung up.
You're clear. Okay. Go ahead and start a perimeter for Unit 7.
He kept in the woods. He's back out on the road.
Clear on back out on the road. Back out on the road.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes whenever you're mentally ill and you just don't know it, it just escalates, you know? Sometimes it happens. There's a serious mental health crisis going on in America, man. We got to get that addressed. We do. Sitting there saying, oh, well, you know, it's in your head. No shit, it's in your head. We have medication and stuff that can help these people, but if they don't know they're sick, then how are they going to get help?
Correction, we're on a gravel drive. He's up towards the residence. I haven't closed the distance 20 minutes.
Bro, he's haul assing in that damn 4x4, though.
We're going to be in the gravel driveway going back to that residence.
Oh, no. Did he already get in? He's already in the house. That's it. Bro, what a nice house, too. Look how many cars they have. Now, how you got all that money and you crazy?
He made it in the house before I was able to get out.
Got like 4 Jeeps outside, dude. There's 4 Jeeps. 3 of them. Got 3 Jeeps. What the hell? God dang, bro's loaded. That's like $100 a week right there, bro.
House before I was able to get out.
That ain't even including the insurance and stuff. Yeah. Oh no, we got to take out the long pew pew.
I can cover this one side, but that's it.
Yeah, dude, schizophrenia is the hardest thing to watch. Like, even if they're a family member, like, you know, you may barely know them. It's sad to see how schizophrenia messes with some people. Like, I used to know, my mom knew a friend who was married to somebody who had heavy schizophrenia. He used to think the mafia was after him, bro. Like, we would be sitting down in a chair at the house, and the dude would stand up sweating bullets. It's saying the fucking mafia's here, screaming it, and throwing tables up over windows and shit, like, going, like, completely crazy. It was like the craziest thing I think I ever saw. And, like, mental illness is a problem.
Up in the woods.
Especially if it's unaddressed mental illness.
6-6 up on the other corner of the house. We're gonna get 490 out there.
531 to get to where you're at. I'm gonna have to make a long run without cover. I've got cover right here behind this tree. I can hear movement, but
and it's sad, especially if you have a loved one that you married that wasn't like that, and then they have something that's traumatic in their life. Like, he went to the military and he like dealt with his own thing in the military, and then he came back and then he just was that way. Sometimes it just happens. And it's really sad to see it, you know?
I can see multiple units down by the road.
I just want to get you out of the area into cover.
I've got cover right here where I'm at.
OSD has advised they're attempting contact their SWAT team. We're requesting their bullet.
If he comes out the right side, I might have a hard time seeing him just because of my patrol car and then the multiple vehicles that are there in the driveway.
OSD provided phone number.
Bro, it's just him out there? Man, no. That's gotta suck so bad. Where is his backup? Come on, guys. I'm kind of surprised they didn't already have units being sent over to the house. It wasn't the original goal to keep this guy from getting into his house where all the guns are?
14, the male's father is attempting to get a hold of him by 19. I'll advise if I find out further. Go down to this channel, keep with 1C. We're trying to do a rescue operation for an officer.
I see you.
Your name is Jigsaw.
I know where you're at.
I mean... Bro, what is it with this little fucking shield, man? What the fuck are you gonna protect with this? Oh, but it's there to protect your body. Yeah, but if you get shot in the leg and you fall over, then what? Then what's gonna happen? You go get shot again. Especially if the dude has an AR? I've never understood this little shield. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that little shield, man? Sarah, for real, man.
Alright, clear.
Man, they could. I'd be the only person there that would immediately question it. I would take that damn shield home and be like, you guys are gonna give me another shield. And they're gonna ask me one. I'm gonna say, you ain't gonna answer me you ain't gonna ask me no questions. Give me another shield. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna take the shield. I'm gonna put them, you see how he's got it like this? Hold on, you see how he's got it? I'd put hinges right here and I put the other shield upside down like that. And I'd let that shit dangle there so that way if someone tries to shoot the bottom half, I'm protected, man. Wasting my time with this half shield shit. How come you don't have that thing touching the ground? Let it touch the ground. Jesus, man, it costs like, what, a couple $100 extra to make that a little longer? Come on. Jesus.
Look, all right, hey, I've got it covered. You guys move when you're set, I'll move.
Officers leapfrog coverage for each other until they are roughly 130 yards from the house.
I'll make it all the way back to the creek.
Right, a shield wall, man. Good. That's the whole point of a shield, man. It's got to protect you. How the hell that protecting you if it's only covering half your body? What's that for? A midget? Like, come on. Or, like, who's that protecting?
7, we've got all units together. We're in a creek bed. Not a good spot for us anyway. You can't see nothing. I'm just spreading out. What if he throws a
Get like some little knee pad plates that are like that big around on your knee, so that way when you walk they clack together.
We'll all die. Well, I didn't want to get this uniform.
They're supposed to take up the bottom half, or like have some like little some shoe shields.
I don't know. I mean, if we want to maintain visual on this side, I mean, this creek bed is great cover. It's just you can't see anything. But I mean, if they've got the drone, that can be our eyes.
What if I pop to this tree right here?
You're gonna lose all your cover.
But they out there playing in the bushes and dude in there getting armed to the teeth.
Is it locked? Yeah, I made sure I hit the lock like 4 times before we moved.
County, stage your medic unit.
Right? So that way when you get turned into Swiss cheese, they can figure out who you were by your face. Jeez. Even the movies have this shit the right way. You watch a movie and you see this big ass SWAT shield, you're just like, damn, they're not fucking around with that thing. Man, some of these shields are so small, like the big chunky dudes can't even fit behind those fucking things.
He does have the high ground.
Better off hiding behind a tree. At least the tree will cover your legs.
Move because they're gonna be in our back. Yeah, but they're still gonna be in our backstop.
What if we just push up so we can see the right side of your car? We just need a little bit of elevation. We can see that front door. We have the main egress kind of covered.
Left side of the house. We would like to push up a little bit. There's no one being crossfire.
So he's saying we can go closer to the house, but we can't go any further to our right.
Why are these police officers doing this? It's obviously they don't know what the hell they're doing. Why don't they just call in SWAT team and wait for it? Just wait. Just call in a SWAT team, have them come out there and do their thing, and then just wait. They have no idea what the hell they're doing.
The house from where we're at, because those trees don't do.
They sitting there running around in the forest. What? Come on, guys.
Behind one. Then I definitely don't want to go close to the house because those trees aren't going to do anything against a 50.
Is there a high top window on the right side where your car is?
How did this? Well, I guess he's rich. I mean, if you're rich, then a 50 caliber.
I think there was one, and then there's.
Well, you got a 50 caliber in there. Bro's walking around with a piece of cardboard box protecting his face. That ain't gonna do shit. If he's got a 50 caliber there, that shield that they're carrying around and wasting all that stamina on ain't gonna do shit.
Another section of the house that like juts out. I think it was like maybe like a back porch type thing, but it didn't look like it had like any type of upstairs to it.
Does not have an upstairs?
But like that porch like screened in looking part didn't. You gotta remember I was looking at it as I was grabbing my rifle and retreating downhill. Yeah, if this dude's got 50s, we're gonna want to stay behind this creek bed because those trees aren't gonna do shit for us. We're gonna watch rounds explode through the tree and into our bodies.
True.
Man, you know how pissed off my wife's gonna be? I was supposed to pick her up for basketball practice and then go to a banquet at 6.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble.
She'll be all right.
You need the 45?
No, I don't think I'm going to walk up there and get my car. Hey, time out from the
Walk up there, get your car, man.
You got a banquet. My wife's going to be pissed.
You couldn't pry me out here with a spatula right now. My adrenaline's way too high.
You guys hear this dude's dad was kind of talking him into giving up?
Yeah, he didn't.
He did not take that advice. I wish he would, though.
Yeah, be pretty cool. And then, dude, when we came out, though,
man, ain't that just how life goes?
Wear and tear at 3,500.
You can always do better, right?
Split second, like, I'm going to chase him in there, and then I'm like, I don't know what's in that house.
You know they say your biggest critic is yourself? That's your biggest, most hateful critic is yourself. Because no matter how good you do, no matter how many people around you say that you're awesome, you always look internally and say you could have done better. No matter how badass you are. You yourself is your biggest critic.
In that house, so I'm not going to chase him in there.
He may have some other people in there.
Yeah, all I know is don't let him get to the house, and I had no context, like, maybe there's a militia in there.
And he's armed.
He's got 3 cars right by the door.
You don't want to go hands-on with him.
I mean, why else would he haul ass into his house? It's obviously to get armed. I mean, let's be honest here.
Comes at you with that knife or whatever.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to move back.
I think the knife is the least of their problems. If he's got a 50 caliber in there, then the knife is the least of their problems. He doesn't even have to leave the room he's in. He could just start shooting that bitch, and he'd probably penetrate everything from there to at least 100 miles away, or 100, which is like, I think it's pretty far, right? I want to say 100 miles, but there's no way, obviously. Like, what is it, like 1,000 or so feet?
Good where I was at. I was actually like super.
I mean, 1,000 or so. No, it's. How far can you shoot with the 50 caliber?
This sucks. What's this guy's background? Do we know? Has he got any like military tactical experience, anything like that, or is he just like a rando?
So you got like at least 1.5 mile radius around you. So you have a good chunk of land that you could cover with the 50 caliber. That's quite a shot.
Or if you can float some units from other posts to this area. We cannot see the side of the residence that faces the hillside.
This officer appears to remove and turn off his body camera as the battery dwindles, creating a 30-minute gap in the footage currently available to the public. When footage resumes, multiple camera angles capture the chaos that unfolds.
He's on the top balcony.
Is he on that side over there? I can hear somebody talking.
He's up top on the balcony yelling.
Whoa!
Shots fired, shots fired. Shots fired, shots
Jesus!
fired, shots fired. Hold your fire unless you have a shot. Hold your fire. Shots fired. Fire law enforcement. He's on the top balcony. Top balcony.
Hey, are you guys good?
Fired. Hold your fire unless you have a shot.
Is that what I think it is?
Fired.
Okay, no, that's that. Okay, I thought that was an underbarrel attachment. I was like, are they going to start like? Since when did the police get underbarrels for their ARs?
Hey, are you guys good?
490 to 7. All units down here are good.
Who shot who? Where did that shot come from?
See the whole balcony where he came off? I don't know. I probably dumped 6 or 7 rounds, I think. I had a sight picture on him when I was shooting, but I got a lot of freaking foliage between me and there. All right.
4 or 5 on him.
I had a sight picture at his silhouette, but then, I mean, I had so much kicking up in front of my muzzle I couldn't see after that. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. No, it's going to really suck when this sun goes down. If he's got thermal, we're going to be fucking blind. I mean,
Bro, they worried about this dude having like straight up military equipment.
We dumped a lot of rounds.
All units here are okay. 7, you still have eyes on the suspect, right? In the same spot. We'll let you know if he moves. Bravo, plan to get for medical.
Hey, be smart about this. Don't move in one big mass. Move in teams. Move in teams so we can cover each other.
Okay, we got to talk about this shield more. We got to talk about the shield, man. This is not the only video I've seen where 3 police officers are shouldering the shield. Like there's one officer in the middle that has the shield. We got to talk about the size of this fucking shield, man. We have to. We got to talk about it, bro.
Got in front. Watch front, dude. Right side's clear. Is anything up here?
Oh, look at that. Look. What the fuck is that shield? Is it like for weight? Why is the shield so, and like the bulletproof vest too, like, you do realize if you get caught in the shoulder right here, you're gonna die, right? There's an artery that comes up through your, and it doesn't even cover, like, I just don't get this. Like, how much funding are we cutting here, guys? Jesus Christ, whenever you wear a piece of equipment, it's not just supposed to be a fucking weight. It's supposed to actually do something.
There's a gun in that one.
Like, I'm not crazy for saying that, right? Like, why does all this equipment look tiny?
What do you see?
Missing poles. It's just an entryway with a bunch of closed doors.
Does it go into the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see.
Try the door.
Hey, even the bulletproof vests that we had on the fire truck were bigger than this damn thing. Like, we had actual like, these damn things covered everything. What the hell are they giving these law enforcement officers, bro? Like, what is that? It looks like it looks like a damn pool floaty for like a child. I think a pool floaty has more than that. I don't understand why it's so tiny. Because like we had bulletproof vests whenever whenever I was a fireman, because like if you get called into a school shooting, you have to have one. It was like protocol. And like, what the hell is that?
Okay. There's a gun in that one. What do you see?
Missing poles. It's just an entryway with a bunch of closed doors.
Does it go into the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see.
Try the door now. Hey, that thing ain't going in. I can break this window and unlock it, Cap.
I think the guy's cooked. I think he's cooked. You know why I think he's cooked? Because if he was still in there moving around, I think he'd be shooting out. I think he's cooked.
All right, here we go. Yep. Entry. Get on me. I'm on you. Clear.
Yo, look at that house. That's a nice house.
Which one?
All that hardwood.
You took over the hallway. All right.
Okay, come on up.
Behind you, come behind you.
What's this?
Door.
What's this?
You got it?
Yep.
Clear. Moving. Show the road. Clear.
You're well going down.
On the ground. Okay. Moving up. Easy. Slow.
Slow it down.
Ready, Nate? Yep.
You should be out that door.
You got left, he's going right.
Ready? I'm down, body. Right.
Yep, I think he's cooked. I think he's done.
Gun on his feet. Down. Done. Yeah.
Clear that gun.
Set it down.
Well, he's down. He got one.
Same.
Don't touch it. Suspect down.
All done.
Okay.
Non-survivable injury. Everybody back out.
All right. We're clear.
Yeah, that depression sucks though sometimes. That shit sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Clear the rest of this house. You got guns here, Leonard.
Guns, multiple firearms on the bed.
News reports indicate Christopher was killed by police after he emerged from the house while armed. Regarding
Maybe you shouldn't have done it. Maybe I don't. Man, I should stop. I gotta stop. I'm like, well, I don't see Minneapolis bitching and complaining about it.
his death, the Lindner family released a single statement. Our family is deeply saddened and devastated by the death of Christopher David Linder. Christopher was a loving, kind, Christ Jesus follower, husband and father.
Obviously not. He out there shooting at police and threatening to stab people. Obviously that sounded to me like another rich parent that don't know what the fuck their kids are into. That's what it sounds like to me.
Of 4 who has suffered from mental illness. We thank you for your prayers and appreciate.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that he was the unfortunate mental illness person. I genuinely feel that I wouldn't say that it's 100% his fault, but like at a certain point when your mental illness is becoming that bad, it's your own decision to go and seek help. Why wouldn't you go seek help, especially if you have money? There are people that are actively dying in America that won't even call an ambulance because of how much it costs, and yet you are one of the privileged ones that can afford that, and you just don't seek help. That's a decision. That's a choice.
Giving us time to grieve. The Ohio Attorney General's Bureau of Criminal Investigation is currently handling the findings of the officer-involved shooting to determine any wrongdoing. Those findings have not yet been released.
The thing about life is you can have the money, the name, the resources, and still be losing a war in your own head. We've seen tragedies like this too many times with celebrities.
I love this dude. This guy is awesome. He's so awesome with these
wealthy,
things.
all of the people who look set for life on paper, but inside they're drowning. Because no amount of money cures real mental illness. It only hides it better until it doesn't. And that's what makes this kind of situation so heavy, because real mental illness doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like reckless speed, defiance, and a person with a weapon in their hand. And unfortunately, with cases like this, the ending writes itself. And the sad part here is officers aren't just chasing a car, they're chasing the last few seconds before a tragedy becomes permanent. And there's always signs that you see before these things happen, but on most occasions, you can't stop it or slow it down. Now, to the Linder family, our condolences sincerely, because this isn't entertainment, guys. This is someone's son, somebody's husband, and somebody's heartbreak. Now, lastly, please remember, if you don't seek your purpose in life, life can get really loud. And unfortunately, when it gets loud, the pain can take over.
That's right, man. W Midwest Safety. Holy crap, man. He's always so damn like clear when it comes to a lot of the stuff too. W Midwest Safety. All right. So we'll be back on Monday, hopefully, as long as the power's not out. If you join the Discord, I'll say in Discord if the power's out or not. That's the only reason why I even made the Discord. Was I was like, you know what, I should probably make one because people can recommend me stuff. And then like, if I send, I'm not going to be live on Monday, it's probably going to be because the power's out. And that'll be because of the winter storm. I don't think the power will go out, but I won't really know until Monday, so I'll just have to see, I guess. All right, boys, I'll roll it up out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks to new followers, the new viewers. Like I said, we're here Monday through Friday, off on weekends, because I got to give my brain cells time to recoup from all the stupidity that pours itself into my chat sometimes. But, peace, man. Peace. Stay safe out there. Stay friendly. Try to put a smile on someone's face. You might change their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I'll see you boys Monday. Hopefully Monday. And we'll do this one.
I don't ever slow up.
Peace.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta